Philadelphia, you're on the air.
Philadelphia. How? No matter what anybody says, Grease, man, I can't use the word, but...
No, I don't want to get into it. I'm having enough trouble with this whole Grease.
You'd rather not get into it.
I don't want to get into it. It's becoming a whole thing, and I don't want to get into it. It's just in New York. I wasn't playing the... I understand in Philly they play the promo. I have no control over my show.
I hate
that. Nobody takes my feelings into consideration around here. Never. Never. I am never considered as a human being. But that's okay, because you know what?
What?
I've seen the light.
What light?
I've seen the light. I'm above this. I'm beyond it. I don't want to. No one understands my feelings. I have to understand everyone's feelings right now. I'm never allowed to be temperamental. I'm not allowed to have. What?
Philly hates it. Philly, after you go off and you go in the commercial.
I don't want to get into it. Las Vegas. I said I don't want to get into it.
Howard.
I don't want to know what happens when I go into commercial in Philadelphia. I don't want to know what humiliation I have to suffer.
Howard.
In New York, I have some control, but I can't in Philly.
Howard.
Yes.
How are you? How you feeling? How's the diet?
How's your ugly mother with the hair all over her chin? You bastard. You son of a... Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing, that guy. He's an irritating guy. I recognize his voice. That guy calls all the time. That son of a... Yes, you're on the air. In New York.
Hi, Howard. How you doing?
What?
How you doing?
Oh, no.
How am I doing?
Yeah. I want to win McCartney ticket.
Stinking whore.
Oh, gee.
How am I doing? I'm doing miserable from you smelly wench.
Oh,
pull up your underpants. I caught a whiff right from here. I can't take this. Gonna have to go back to screening the calls. I want McCartney tickets. Well, McCartney tickets, come down here and take off your smelly underpants. Let me take a look at what's doing down there, bushwoman. Probably big blisters on that thing.
Oh.
Hello?
Too much use. Yes, you're on the air. Hello.
Howard?
Yes? Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, I was wondering if I could get tickets.
What's that?
Do you know who I met yesterday?
How?
George Bush.
George Bush?
Yeah, he was in my building yesterday.
What was he doing? Visiting somebody?
He was visiting somebody.
Yeah, so what happened? Was he there with the Secret Service?
Was he what?
Did he have Secret Service? What happened?
So I met him, and I worked for a doctor, and I asked him if he wanted an eye exam. And he told me no, that he saw me well enough. And I was very excited.
This would be great being the ex-president walking around.
Well, he had Secret Servicemen all over the building.
You get cool Secret Service guys to hang with you.
You always have buddies.
Always have pals, and, your wife totally buys into it. Yeah, I got to go out with the guys.
Barbara wasn't with him. He was by himself.
Of course not. He never goes anywhere with that old rag. She's up there in Maine waiting for him to come home making chocolate pudding.
She has her buddies, too.
Yeah. You married?
Am I? No, I'm single.
Yeah. When you get married, I'll mail your husband a gun to end his misery.
Howard!
Howard.
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 Well, that ends the phone segment for a long time. I'll come back. I got to play the KKK hotline, and I will get to some of those McCartney tickets, hopefully. And here's a good one.
What? What you got there?
This is one, I can't believe this record ever came out. Jackie the Joke Man Martling checking in with Off Our Rocker Productions.
This is on record?
Yeah, this is on disc.
Why does Jackie sound better than everyone else's?
Yeah, no crackle.
Never played.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody ever played it.
Oh, God, long intros. Remember Jackie's signature.
The original Jackie the Joke Man. This was going to be a big hit for Jackie.
Intro's about a minute long.
It was a big hit on the jukeboxes at Neptune's.
Right.
I don't know quite what to do, what to say, what to make of this. Every time I try to decide, my mind wants to run and hide. It gets so confusing when you're losing.
This is the one guy I know who can really write about losing.
There's no such thing as pride.
Oh.
You suck, man.
Silly lyrics.
You really do.
Oh, yeah.
You really suck.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. I don't like that. Do you like that thing that comes and goes? Jackie getting all his buddies together. Cut his record. Well, there it is. That's a Jackie record.
Thank you, boss.
What is it, Papa Police?
Well, I'm pretty sure this guy's on a level, but his accent's so thick it almost sounds fake, but he's an angry gay guy.
Oh, yeah? What's he angry about? That's a redundant person. Angry. What gay guy you know isn't angry?
I'm sorry.
You have a little bit of that, and you see if you ain't angry. You'd be angry, too. Hello? Hello?
Yes?
Yes. What can I do for you? Did you watch the Tony Awards?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Did you watch the Tony?
You really are. I don't know what you
You're
think
kidding.
things like that for.
Do you like the Tony Awards? Oh, why am I making an ass out of
Why don't you
myself?
be serious so we can all talk to you to see what your intellect is like?
Oh, I should be serious.
No,
You think that'd be a good career move?
Pissing me off.
Hey, you think that'd be a good career move if I got serious?
Well, don't screw with me so I don't get pissed off in the air, dummy. I never
Hey,
have to
dummy,
curse.
hey, dummy, you watch your filthy mouth. I'll throw you right off the air. I control who's on the air here,
Well,
buddy.
then
This
how
is
would
my
it
game we're
then
playing
smarten
now.
up a little bit, please.
Listen here, we're not at the Tony Awards. This is my show.
You see how you're doing it? You're
The
doing
Tony
it to me
Awards is
again.
your show, is the
You're
gay
doing
show.
it to me again.
Oh, no, I'll do whatever I want to you. You obviously let everyone do everything to you.
That's not true. I do it to them.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, anyway, what did you call to say?
Hey, what accent is that, man? What are you, from Saturn?
Oh, man.
Juan Colin?
I'm serious. You are the most ridiculous person. Why don't you just have a small
Nice
conversation
accent.
with me in the air?
Hey, why don't you just go back to your country?
Howard.
Pluto. Listen to
See, I
you.
cannot talk to you. You cannot hear my threat.
Are you crying?
Almost. Jesus Christ, man.
All right, you're putting me on. You can't possibly be for real. Please. Okay, thank
How
you
am
for
I
that.
putting you on, Howard? Can you explain that to me?
Oh, come on. Nobody talks like this. Ricky Ricardo.
No. What is this making noise on the theater means? That's ridiculous.
I was there. It happened.
It did not, Robin. Don't be such a butt kisser to Howard, okay?
A butt kisser? This, I went to the place, sir.
You're the butt kisser, sir.
This is what happened.
Yes, I am, Howard.
You're the one who likes
that's
to
my
invade.
personal business, Howard.
You're the one who likes to invade a man.
Yeah, well, that's my personal business.
Well,
What do
that's
you
my
do?
personal business to you.
Yeah, well, what do you do with the little wiener that you call on the air?
Yeah, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
I don't put it near a man, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it probably doesn't even fit in a woman either.
Well, don't get your hemorrhoids up in an uproar.
Well, why is he saying that my personal experience didn't happen?
I feel like cursing in the air at you, I swear.
All right, Ricky Rumcardo. You're so witty.
So stupid.
That's
I'm
because
not
that's all you can do
okay?
is curse because you're not witty. You're stupid.
Yeah, and you're frustrated, you dick. You know, Howard, you get me so upset sometimes.
Okay, Pancho Gazinha.
Stop calling me names, I'm telling you. Stop calling me names.
I'll call you what I want to, man.
Stop calling me names, Howard.
I call you names. Pancho Gazinha.
I knew Baba Booey was going to do this to me. He's such an idiot, just like you.
Yeah. Why are you calling Baba Booey names?
Because he's probably the one that told you, hey, I got somebody with a fake accent, like he was screaming me in the air like a big bad. He's
Yeah.
probably an ex-kisser of yours, too. Like that Robin.
Yeah. Hey, aren't you a famous bullfighter?
Who?
El Testiclo?
Howard, cut it out. I'm serious.
I'm
Cut it
serious,
out.
man. I'm serious, man.
Howard, I'm serious. Cut it out.
I am serious. You made no point. We don't even know what you're mad
Yeah, why
about.
are you
I'm
upset?
trying to make my point, but you keep calling me names that gets me upset. Can
Like-
you understand that?
El Testiclo?
Forget it, Howard. You
That's
know,
not your
I don't
name?
want to talk to you anymore.
All right, Zorro.
When did you call your mother that?
Hey, you know what? You're Zorro's gay cousin, Shrinkto.
That you've been doing this wrong. When you enter a theater or whatever, and you want to get to a seat that's in the aisle, you know, not on the aisle, but inside the row,
Yeah.
which way do you face as you're passing people?
My ass in their face.
That is the improper way to do it.
That's why I do it.
There's a raging debate that's been going on with in the column of Dear Abby for, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months, and I've been watching and watching. Who wants to turn around and face people as you slide in?
Abby likes to put her crotch in people's face. I like to put my crotch in people's face.
I've never gone into an aisle facing the people who are seated.
I always let them enjoy my ass.
Absolutely. I won't know and they won't know.
Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
you smell good.
Thank you.
So she likes that. Your ass in her face.
Yeah, here's a good match. My ass, your face.
Sandy, you smell good.
You're damn right I smell good like roses.
Well, someone wrote Abby today that she'd rather a stranger's navel within a foot of her forehead than the bottom.
It's not my navel.
Their nose.
That ain't my navel, sweetheart. I might be hung like a navel, but that ain't a navel. That's a weapon.
But I just don't think I could face people as I slide into an aisle. I don't want to do that.
I have a sign on my ass that says, say hi to my shrinkter.
Sandy, you smell good.
Yeah, I didn't ask for a report, honey. I'm just trying to get to my seat.
Sandy, you smell good.
Thanks.
So I'm going to continue doing it the improper way. I'm sorry.
Telling the boys during the commercials about my tour of duty in Vietnam, my 3 tours of duty.
You still telling more stories?
Yeah, I was telling the guys, they were fascinated by this.
What? What did you do?
You know, they were saying, what was it like when you first got to Nam? So I said, well, it was really weird because when you first get there, you think it's kind of nice. I mean, I'm talking about when you're right off the friggin'...
It's a pretty place.
It's not only is it a pretty place, but the thing that struck me as peculiar was I get there and I'm there with all the other grunts, you know, especially when you do your first tour of duty, and we get off and we're
what
like,
was your rank?
I was a private.
Oh, were you in which branch of the service were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay,
You're acting like you don't even know this stuff.
I didn't.
What
You're always talking about it, but you never told me your rank.
33rd Infantry. So anyway,
you sure that wasn't the field artillery?
Who knows? Anyway, I tried to wipe that all out. You know, I've got a pretty bad vibe about all that. So anyway, all of a sudden, like you get off the boat, and you get off the copter, and you're with the other guys, the new guys.
Right, the grunts.
They put you on a truck. It's like one of those open trucks.
Yeah, like a flatbed truck open in the back.
But you're in there with you're sitting right next to guys who've already done a tour of duty in Vietnam, they're hardened guys.
Right.
And you're sitting there, and the first thing you notice is that they actually smell like war. I can't describe it any other way than that. It's like they have the smell of death on them.
Oh.
But the reason you're aware of it is because you just got there, and they seem like regular guys and stuff. In fact, so our truck pulls away out of Vietnam, out of where we land, and we're traveling down a road, right? And there's all these little Viet Cong children, Vietnamese children.
How do you know they're not Viet Cong children? They're
Yeah, you never know. They're VC, believe me. And I'm sitting next to these soldiers, right? So as we're driving the truck, all these little, Vietnamese kids are following us. As we get toward these villages, they're all running after our truck. And some of the soldiers are throwing them candy.
Yeah.
So I'm going, hey, that's pretty nice. So the guy I'm sitting next to, this guy had already done 2 tours of duty. He takes this thing out, looks like a candy, but I see what it is right away. What they give you when you go to Vietnam are these little, they almost look like caps you had when you were a kid. They make flashes, so when you're at night, you can see. But they almost look like little candies. They're like little hard, and you unwrap them. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're almost like little flash pots, so that you can see at night. So he would throw them to the kids like they were candy, and when they'd unwrap them, they would explode, and their hands would burn. Little kids. And I'm going, how the hell could anyone be this cruel?
Yes.
One of them blew out the kid's baby teeth. I remember like it was yesterday. And I'm telling you, and then after you do a tour of duty, you realize why they do it.
You're handing them out, too.
Yeah, you are, because you want to just kill everything in the country.
Oh.
You want to kill everyone. You have absolutely no feeling. Because you're there to kill. Or be killed.
Kill, kill, kill.
Kill, kill, kill. After a while, I'm sitting there going, man, there's nothing like the sight of a splattered gook brain on the trunk of a palm tree. That's how sick you get. Now I've obviously...
You've changed.
Yeah.
You're a peacenik.
I was a nut. By my second tour of duty in Nam...
Why would you do another tour of duty if it was so bad?
I was a kook. I began to love the killing in some bizarre way. I saw one time I'm driving down in my, I was a scout.
Right.
I'm there. I see this dog urinating on a tree. I kill the dog, and then I kill the tree.
So tell me where you used to live in Vietnam.
Let me just tell you one thing, how sick I got. I've never admitted this to anybody.
What?
I had a chain around my neck with a finger and an ear on it.
Oh, please.
I'm not kidding.
What movie did I see that in?
Movie? Hey, they stole that from me. I invented that.
I think that was universal.
I once kicked a Vietnamese kid in the head, man. Their skulls are so soft. I got brains on my boot, and my commando leader just started yelling at me because my boots were dirty.
Why are you doing all this?
What? I was in a sissy in the Air Force like you.
Why are you saying these things?
What about Nam? What do you mean, what am I saying?
Never seen outside the United States.
Get out of here. What are you talking about? Don't ruin my parade.
Furthest away you've been from New York is England, and I don't think there were any gooks over there to get your.
What are you doing? Don't be. Come on. What are you doing?
What are you carrying on?
What are you talking about? You know I was in Nam.
Valiant men who served this country.
Oh, be quiet.
Listening to your silliness.
Hey, anybody ever makes fun of the Vietnam Memorial, I'll kill him because let me tell you something, man. To see my buddies' names up on there.
Right. You go there how often?
I've been there 2 or 3 times. Did I ever tell you I lived in a treehouse in Nam?
That's where you lived.
Yep. Do you know that my roommate and I had to live on cooked gook for 6 weeks? Do you know that? We had to boil.
Oh, boy.
Well, we hated it. We had to do it. They trained us that way. We were like robots.
Amazing.
All right. Hey.
Well,
you don't want to hear my war stories?
This will all be in the book.
Oh, yeah. On my 3 tours of duty, yeah.
Yes. Can't overlook that.
Hey, I'm a survivor. Got to admit. I could cut your throat from sitting from here, and I'm about 6 feet away from you.
Oh, let me see you do that.
Okay. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Yeah, you survived by staying here.
Right.
During the war.
All my buddies are on that wall. Good old Nick. Nick O'Time. You know him?
Nick O'Time. You're sick.
What is it, Gary?
One of your non-buddies is on the phone.
Excellent. Hey, this guy.
On the phone. Nick is on the phone.
This is probably Nick. Hey, Nick, is that you?
Yeah, Howard. How you doing?
Good. Say, man, this guy knows I was in Nam. The way I'm talking about him, am I right?
Listen, I've been listening to you for years.
Thank you, man.
I love you.
Thank you.
I got all your videos.
Yeah.
All right. I got the FCC.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Yep.
I wrote a letter to D'Amato.
Thank you.
All right. But you got to get off Nam, man.
Hey, come on, man.
Well,
you know I was there.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I was the guy with the finger in the ear on.
Yeah, you were in the bunker next to me up at Quezon.
See? I finally got a witness.
I'm glad you remember the name of the place.
You still wear your dog tags?
No, baby.
I do. Listen to this. I'll rattle mine for you. Ready?
Yeah. No, I'm just wearing my gold now.
Yeah, I wear the dog tags, man, in remembrance.
No, I remember. Yeah, I remember you at Quezon.
Yep, I remember seeing you there.
I remember Hill 881 South. You were there with the 26 Marines.
I was a scout.
You were doing recon.
I was doing that too.
Slipping and sliding, ducking and dodging, snooping and pooping. That was you.
Snooping and dooting.
Pooping.
No,
snooping
dooting.
and pooping.
All right, I don't think you were really there. I think you're lying.
You don't think so?
No, I could tell a fake. I could spot one a mile away. All right, dude. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you killed some of those Viet Cong, right?
Absolutely. Hey, I got news for you.
Go ahead.
I got my albums. Anytime you want me down there, I'll be down there.
You got pictures?
Absolutely.
You got pictures of people?
I got them from March 8th, 1965 to July 22nd, 1966 when I came back home.
How many you figure you killed?
Well, let me put it to you this way. A lot of them you never saw, Howard.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm trying to tell Robin.
You know, a lot of them you never saw. I will tell you this.
Yeah.
We fired up some villages, but we never killed any women and children.
I killed a few.
Well, who lived in the villages?
I used to kill the children. That was my job. I was heartless.
Yeah, I know.
By my 3rd tour of duty, they'd send me to go kill all the kids.
Can I tell you something about
Go ahead.
Morley Safer?
Let me tell you something.
Morley Safer.
Yeah,
Hey, let me tell you
He's a
something.
dead man.
You are absolutely right. I know what he's going to say. Go ahead, say it.
November 4th.
Right, I was there.
1965. We were in the village of Camney. All right? Our colonel told us before we went in, if we catch any fire, we're going to level the village.
Exactly.
Well, we caught all kinds of fire. All right? Called in artillery, called in airstrikes.
Go ahead.
Okay? When we got back to Da Nang, we got off the choppers.
What did Morley Safer do to
Morley
us?
Safer was there with a camera crew.
Exactly.
Okay?
Saying we were bad.
Oh.
Hey, let me tell you something, my
They
friend.
stuck a mic in front of the black guy that was in front of me.
I know. And those black guys always were mouthing off.
You know, what happened? How come you burned the village? My man said to him, what do you expect us to do, die? We're not dying for these people.
Exactly. No, Morley probably never served his country, that's why.
Well, Morley was down in Saigon,
He's a big
350
pussy.
miles away.
And let me tell you something. You know what happened to me? I don't know. When I got done with my 2nd tour of duty in Nam, I come back. I was in Oakland, okay? You know they spit on me?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they spit on me.
What were you doing back here? I thought you re-up for a third term.
I did. I was in
Howard,
Oakland,
let me
though.
tell
I
you
came back for a little R&R.
I went in the Marine Corps in July '64, right?
Right.
So how old are you now,
Okay.
Howard?
Well, me?
Yeah.
I'm 43.
Oh, you've been lying about your age.
Yeah,
too.
I don't like to talk about that.
I go in July '64.
I don't count those 4 years of my life because you know something, Robin?
Right.
Those years were taken away from me.
I see.
Hey, did you know a guy, a private Clint Taurus? Did you know this guy?
Oh, man. Yeah.
His name isn't on the wall because they said it was too controversial.
Yeah. Well, you're right there, though, my man.
You're
You
damn
should be
right.
on top of the wall.
Right.
All right?
Sitting there.
Sitting there.
Not his
The only
name.
thing,
He should
the only
be sitting
thing I
there.
got, Howard. The only thing I can say to you, you with Clinton now, right?
I'm not with anybody.
Well,
man.
yeah.
Till
but
I get
you know,
my if he gives me a meeting, I'll be.
Well, the FCC. All right?
Exactly, yeah.
You'd be better off making up an alliance with the Vietnam vets.
Exactly. That's
All right,
where I'm. I got
womanizing,
you. I
you know
hear
what?
you. I hear you.
All right?
All right.
But I tell you, Howard, anytime I'll be down. I'll be down with the albums.
Hey, you don't. Hey,
Those albums would make him sick.
let me tell you something. I need to see those albums because I got to bring it back for myself. I've been trying to. You know what? Sometimes the dreams.
I understand.
Sometimes the nightmares are so bad. Hey, let me tell you
He'll
something.
throw up if he sees
I
the
became
album.
such a trained killer. I never even told Robin this, but you know what I'm talking about. I was the guy who put the hand grenade in a cow's mouth and sent him walking into a third grade gook recess. And let me tell you something, man. I did it, and I did it for my country. And I'm going to tell you something. Man. I would do it again.
Howard.
I have boots made out of gook ass skin, okay?
Well, hey, listen, Howard. The only thing I
They're
can
beautiful
tell you,
yellow with no hair and a lot of zits.
Well, the only the only thing I can tell you, babe, I'll share a foxhole with you anytime. All right?
Hey, I'd be proud to be with you, my friend.
All right, Semper Fi, my man.
Exactly.
I thought
You know
were
what
in
that
the
means,
Army,
right?
you-
Of course I do.
no,
Don't give away our secrets.
Listen to me. It's Semper
Tell him
Fi
what it
Delis.
means. Robin doesn't know.
That's a Marine term.
That's right. It's Semper
I
Fi
know.
Delis. It means always faithful.
Exactly.
All right?
You got a tattoo?
Now,
Oh.
I promised my mother I wouldn't get one.
Hey, do you still wipe your ass with bark and rocks?
No, man, but I learned. You know what I'm saying?
You don't wipe your
Toilet
butt.
paper?
You don't wipe your butt still with rocks and bark?
Howard.
I love it. Ever since Nam, I love it.
Howard, it was 25 years ago. We got to get into the.
Hey man, don't say that to me. It's still yesterday to me.
All right,
He is
I don't want you to go into flashbacks, all right?
Hey, take it easy. I got
Take care,
malaria.
babe. Love
All
you.
right, man. We got to go drinking sometime.
All right, love you, brother.
Hey, I love you, my brother.
Take care.
Signify.
Semper Fi.
Simplify.
Semper Fi, baby.
That's what I
All right, Robin?
Yeah.
Take care of my man, all right?
Hey, did you ever knock up any of them broads over there?
No,
Those-
but I got the
those chinks?
clap, man.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they said the bar girls in Da Nang were clean, right?
Let me tell you something, man. I knocked up so many gook broads that now there's 2 villages full of gook teenagers with big noses. All right? Running around with my nose.
Yeah, I'm afraid to talk to the Vietnamese kids here. I might have killed their family. You know?
Exactly,
So I don't know,
exactly.
you know,
man. I
it's
can keep a low
problem.
profile. Okay, man. All right, man.
Take care, brother.
All right, remember, simplify.
Semper Fi.
Whatever.
All right.
All right,
brother.
bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Simplify. What is that, Robin?
Semper Fi.
I was in
Semper
it.
Fidelis.
I was not in the Navy.
that was Marine.
Marines. I was in the Army. All right, man. Hey, there's one of my buddies from Nam. Jeez, it was good talking to him. God, I love those days.
You know what? You ought to go camping just to bring them back. You know, go out into the woods and have a paint gun war.
I love the way those Kong would shake before they polished off. I'm a trained assassin.
Oh, boy. I don't know what brought this on today.
I don't know. I just started thinking about it. You know, with Bert and Lonnie divorcing.
That sent you to a tailspin.
Yeah. My whole world crumbles. Any little thing sets me off. And it's called the Brother Intellifax. You've got to ask for it. Before you go out and buy a fax machine, make sure you ask for the Brother Intellifax because... Ooh, I just cut some smelly cheese. Ooh, anybody want to catch a whiff? Jackie, come here and smell this. Come here, man. You got to smell this. It's, actually, this is kind of interesting.
Why is it interesting?
Eggs.
Oh, really?
Oh. That'll kill you, Jackie. You go over there.
Sulfur. I love my own smell. I really
Even
do.
when it's that stinky egg smell? Oh, you're sick.
I'm so special. I love me. You love the smell of your own gas, right?
No.
You really don't?
I don't.
You find it repulsive?
I find it offensive.
Really?
I don't care. It doesn't smell as bad to me as other people's
You don't
smell.
sit there and smell it?
No, but I don't try to
revel
soak it in.
Don't you love the smell of your own gas?
The worse, the more pleasure.
Right.
Oh, here it is.
Me too.
You're getting him now, Fred?
You got it, Fred?
tuning him in?
I got a waft of the
Isn't that
smell,
cute?
yes.
It's cute.
It's interesting. You're right. It is interesting.
I love my smell. If you could just learn to love my smell as much as I do.
It's an unusual bouquet. Jesus.
Fred loves me.
Well, let me just say that, being a vegetarian is a much more pleasant experience.
Yes. Miss Vegetarian for the next week. All right, anyway, brother in Telefax.
I still haven't broken down.
I like you with Roger Ebert. Yes, I'm a vegetarian.
For about a week.
For about a week.
I'm a new vegetarian.
I can be a vegetarian for a week. Hey, let me tell you about
2 weeks for me, thank you.
Albany. You're on the air.
Hello, Howard.
Dude.
Good morning.
Hey.
Robin, good morning.
Hi.
Hello.
I got
Hello.
want to talk a little bit about Bob Mason, a guy from
Robin has this habit, man, like during the show, she'll like go out during the commercials.
I have to make a sissy.
And then
It's longer and longer and more often.
Yeah, now it's like every time, and she goes out, and then it's very distracting because she comes in like always a minute late.
And that was a pretty decent-sized break.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just talking about you, Robin.
Well, she did announce.
It's now every break that you show back up here late.
Not every
By a
break.
minute. It's very distracting.
No.
Try and seriously, come on, get it together.
I'm having a problem today.
Are you really? No, come on, you do this every day.
No, I don't.
But didn't
What's
she
the
say-
problem, period?
No.
Uh-oh, diarrhea again?
Oh, boy.
Really?
It's not
What's going on with
diarrhea.
you?
It's not diarrhea.
It's just a lot of movements? What's going on? Why so many movements? Did you eat a lot?
Did I eat a lot? No. It's that there's no time for them anymore.
There's no time to clean up after him? Is that what you're saying? Yesterday I was, I went to the bathroom, and I have never had a smellier, more difficult time than yesterday.
What
For some
was the
reason.
problem?
It was like, it wasn't going easy, and then like when I was done, I just had to like clip everything off. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just squeezed. I don't know, I just couldn't like, you ever have that, Jack?
You couldn't finish.
Yeah, like you couldn't just, it wasn't complete.
When you left, you knew you would be returning soon.
Yeah, and you know, you
You didn't get to the caboose.
exactly. So it was like, I like kind of finished, but the whole bathroom reeked. And my wife put a special door in around the toilet so that the toilet section off, but the whole bathroom, it just seeped into
every pore, in every cubicle.
And of course she has to come walking up afterwards. She's like, "Foo, foo." I go, "Hey, Allison, I had a smelly movement. Give me a break. Really, seriously, give me a break." So she's like, every minute, "Ooh, oof, oof." So you think the smell's out yet? Ooh, ooh, ooh. So meanwhile, after I did this, I jumped in the shower because I was so smelly.
You
smell
too.
Everything smelled. It was like
It was emanating from every pore.
Yeah, do you ever do that after a really bad time on the bowl? You just like
you
jump
feel
into
dirty.
the shower. I really had to just jump into the shower and just clean up.
But don't you wonder how that doesn't just come out of you, out of your pores when you've got something in you?
And then my hands even smell.
Oh no, Howard, what are you doing?
But I wasn't doing anything weird. It's just everything. Well, after the shower, my hands smell because I have to scrub up. You know what I'm saying, Jackie?
No.
Oh, come
After
on.
a shower, nothing should smell.
No, I'm telling you.
Oh.
It's how foul everything was.
What did you eat?
Nothing unusual. It's just sometimes I have some trouble. It wasn't even trouble. It was just one of those weird ones where you never feel like you're done.
That is a strange feeling.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Robin's having today.
Well, yeah, I haven't been able to get done. I keep...
Do you want me to bathe you?
No, I don't want you to...
Like a bidet? You can just bend over the sink and I'll clean you up. I'd love to do that.
Oh, the mic in there.
You need a microphone in there. You're creating great radio. You don't even realize it. You need me to produce.
Robin on location.
Right.
The reason I'm pointing out Bishop is because the epicenter is described as being 35 miles southeast of Bishop. If this is Bishop, the epicenter would be sort of right around in here, which is a very densely populated area. I point that out because joining us now is Paul from Bishop, which is one of the towns that is closest to the epicenter of the earthquake. And where were you and what did you feel, Paul?
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Stern, Baba Booey, Howard Stern. Howard Stern,
All
Baba.
right, thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. We're not interested in anybody making any crank calls at a time like this.
No way.
This is a serious matter for those folks that are near this.
Right. That'll discourage
They're
everyone.
just not interested right now.
Yeah.
Great call.
I tell you, the coverage of World War III is going to be a pisser. Can you imagine? Ladies and gentlemen, World War III has broken out. We have a man who is there. He is calling from Europe right now. It is broken out. They're sending planes over to bomb the United States. Howard Stern, Baba Booey. Oh, this is not the right time. If ever there was not a right time, ladies and gentlemen, it's not now. World War III, there are actually nuclear bombs coming over to us now from Libya. Hold on a second. We have someone in Libya who has seen the launching of these nuclear bombs. Yes, what is it? Howard Stern, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Pardon me, sir? Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Robin Quivers, Fred Norris. Jackie Joke Man.
Jackie Joke Man.
This is not the right time. We have 1 minute left to live on the planet.
We're trying to keep this serious.
People, this is very serious to people who live in the epicenter of the bombing. There's a target area of...
Very serious to ground zero.
Yeah. We have a call now from someone who is at the epicenter. He has just been nuclear bombed. Hold on. Hello, sir. Is that you?
Yeah.
Are you all right, sir?
My family is...
I'm so sorry.
Howard Stern is God. Howard Stern is God.
This is really not funny. It's going to be great, World War III. Tune in your TV for that one.
Almost makes you want to see it happen.
We got to take a break. We'll be back right after these words. Forget the tie. Remember the beer across America, the original microbrewery beer of the month club. You know how, like, Tucson always gets fruit of the month for Christmas gifts?
Yes.
Well... Of course, he didn't send me fruit of the month till I got him a gift first. Remember, I gave him a gift, and all of a sudden, I got fruit of the month.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, a membership in beer. He didn't know that we were supposed to exchange gifts.
Gee, Howard.
I got beer of the month. Guess what beer that was? A membership in beer across America is ideal for Dad's big day. A membership includes.
Liar. Oh, liar.
What? Oh. What's that?
Liar.
I got you the first year we exchanged gifts. I got you a gift first.
Was that the tri-colored popcorn year?
Yeah, no, it was the basket year. The basket year.
No. I started before you.
Jackie, don't you even laugh. You've never gotten anybody a Christmas gift, ever. Mr. Scrooge. This is the Jackie Joke Man who hasn't gotten anybody a Christmas gift. Then he gets my wife a baby gift of a blue nightlight.
I must tell you,
I heard you laughing, you big wise
the
ass.
bathrobe is great.
Thank you.
It's a terrific gift.
Yeah.
Not as good as Beer Across America, to get back to the point at hand.
Beer Across America was good. I hope I get that next year. And we got to take a break, and we'll start the news round right after these words.
The symptoms vary. They're suffering from all kinds of things.
Now, is this a post-trauma thing, or is this physical?
It sounds physical to me.
But they have. I mean, there'd be it'd be nice if there was a symptom here.
Why can't there ever be a war in someplace safe?
Where you can't come back with anything. Because everybody always comes back with something.
A war in San Diego.
That would be fine. Just won't get any dysentery or anything.
Yeah.
Play the card by Gary Wall. He's the head of a special panel on officers coming back from Desert Storm. He was a Vietnam veteran.
He's on top of the symptoms here?
I think so.
Good.
Pam, we're going to get to the symptoms,
I'd like to hear the symptoms.
Mellow out.
Many veterans are too sick to work. Some report their spouses as having miscarriages, kidney infections, hair loss, rashes complete with lesions, and all are afraid.
Was Scott the engineer in Desert Storm?
No, he wasn't.
He suffers from a lot of those
symptoms.
A lot of hair loss. Most of it. Right, Pen.
But he wasn't there. This, what is this woman's name? Let me find her. Because her husband is the one who's run up the $100,000 worth of medical bills. Her name is Betty Zuspan.
She's a Penn and Teller fan, by the way.
She's the national director of the Desert Storm Veterans Coalition.
My husband feels that his country has deserted him. As the wife of a Desert Storm veteran, I am devastated.
Penn, I can't believe you.
You're so insensitive.
As an American, I am furious.
Jackie, you think that's funny?
That's horrid.
Get some sense of humor.
You know, I don't know what to do to get sympathy out of you guys.
Yeah, but you can't do that, Penn. All right.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
All right. Ted Nugent. He's pretty into that hunting stuff, huh?
Totally. Apparently it's a lifestyle with him.
He was leaving to go hunt in Central Park. Do you believe that?
I
I'm
don't
not
know
kidding.
What kind of game they have over there?
He goes, hey, man, I'll see you later. I got to go hunting in Central Park. I go, what do you mean hunting? He goes, yeah, I'm going to go, do some bow
Shoot my
shooting.
bow and arrow.
I go, can you do that in Central Park?
He said, if you hit something there, it'll probably be a person, Ted.
It'll be a good kill. Chances are it'll be a deviant he hits.
Well, it's still a person.
Yeah. Wish I had a hobby I was that into.
Yeah, see, this is what makes you an uninteresting person.
Yeah.
You have nothing but this.
Yeah, this is it. I need something to fulfill my life. Like get into a hunting lifestyle with guys.
He says you go out there and get in the woods with you and that deer and everything disappears.
So a lot of angry people faxing while Ted was here.
There were pros and cons.
Yeah, some people liked that Ted killed the animals. Other people were like, Howard, the difference between Ted and the Indians with reverence for animals is the Indians did it to survive. Ted does it for fun. It is killing for sport. Then here's someone drew a cartoon of a zebra and said, it would be an honor to be killed by you, Mr. Nugent. I'm not sure if that's pro or con. Howard, why don't you go ask Ted to go finish off that duck in Central Park? I think that's where he was headed. The one with the arrow in his head. Every year there's a story like that. Some duck who gets an arrow stuck in him.
Right. Either a duck or it's a whale that's beached and everybody's trying to save it.
Oh, here's someone who really hates Ted. Howard, I think we need to thin out the human population, and I think it should begin with Ted. This man is completely disgusting. It really takes a big man to kill defenseless animals with a weapon. Get this guy off the air. Well, he's off now. Oh, here's another one. Tell this jackass Nugent to go back to Yahoo Land. Is Ted good? People are starving in Africa. Is it your responsible to shoot them so they don't starve?
Well, there's some logic.
There you go. Hey, Howard, tell the plant lover that God said to eat the meat, for nothing created by him is bad. Oh, I see. There's someone in favor of what Ted's saying. Oh, this guy didn't like the woman from PETA. He says, I'm no hunter, but get that F off the phone.
You see, people come down on all sides of an argument.
Here's a great one. Howard, Ted Nugent really scares me. Signed, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, Jesus.
Howard, back in Idaho, we hunted elk and deer to thin out the population. There is nothing more disgusting than watching an elk starve to death in the winter. Yet, if we don't thin them, the scene is inevitable. All right.
Don't look. Why are you going out there?
I wouldn't even know what the elk are doing. I care less. Let them thin themselves out. I could care less. But anyway, there it is. I thought Ted was a lot of fun. I like that guy. And there's not too many people I like. I thought he was interesting.
Is that your chair?
Yeah. I can't get... The way they built this studio, I can't get my chair near the microphone, near the desk. And I got a lot going on. I'm trying to eat.
Walter Mondale is going to be working for the government again. I guess his appointment as ambassador to Japan is going to be announced pretty soon.
Now, how old is he? He's got to be 100 years old.
Oh, he must be in his 60s now, I would imagine.
And he's going to be the ambassador to Japan.
Yeah, he's going to go over there and take care of business.
How could a guy
United States
that old really have the energy to take care of business?
Well, is it that demanding a job?
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
You go over there and you go to parties and ceremonies. You represent the president in that country. You have a few discussions. It's not that demanding.
I don't need him to do that. Jackie could do that.
Jackie loves parties.
Believe me, if they can make him ambassador to Japan, I want to be the king of Florida. Just make me king.
Also in the news, we were talking about Jurassic Park earlier, Howard.
Yeah.
Do you realize that there are already people protesting this movie? For whatever kind of thing you want to do, we can find a group to protest it in this country.
And what are they protesting?
Cloning. You know, the whole basis of the movie
I happen to be one of those people.
is that the dinosaurs are cloned from some DNA that's found. Okay? And, of course, we have all of this genetic engineering going on now. We're coming up with these genetically engineered tomatoes and so forth. And there's a group of people who said that the movie Jurassic Park might make people more open to this kind of genetic engineering. So they want to make sure that doesn't happen. So they were out protesting the opening of the movie the other night.
I already own a Sick of Jurassic button, which you wear. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Remember when Steven Spielberg made E.T.?
Yes.
And they said that I swear to God, I heard this story. There were people upset because they found out that Steven Spielberg had been contacted years ago by aliens, and he was here to prepare the world for the visit of the aliens and to make them seem more acceptable, but they were coming in to conquer us. Do you know I spoke to, like, people who you normally think are sane were telling me this? That there was a group of Hollywood, people that contacted, that were contacted by aliens, Steven Spielberg among them. And Steven Spielberg did not believe they were really aliens, and they said to him, I swear to God this was a story going around. They said to him, we'll prove it to you. Name something that you think can't happen. And he says, I can never find a parking space in Manhattan on a certain block. And then he went, and the next day the aliens made it happen. And then he made E.T. at their direction.
Is this like your Vietnam story?
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. And now it's like, Steven Spielberg is trying to get through genetic cloning, and that's why he's behind this movie. I'm telling you, you're going to hear it. It's always conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy on everywhere you look. But I thought that was interesting. Who would have thought that Jurassic Park would inspire people to make, signs and start marching around? I just couldn't imagine it.
It's called idiots with free time. Imbeciles. People who have no lives. Zero things going on in their life. No business to take care of. They're type Bs.
Well, I think it takes some initiative to join one of these groups and write up signs.
Nah.
No?
Fred has a sign. He's a type B. Look at him marching around over there. I hate Jurassic Park.
Amazing. The NBA, actually the person who runs the NBA, David Stern, has decided.
Do you notice the name Stern is coming up more and more?
Yes, a lot of people are named Stern now.
A lot of people are very proud of the name now, coming forward.
They are going to interview this guy, Richard Esquinas, or Esquinas, whatever his name is, the guy who wrote the book and self-published it about gambling with Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
They say they will have to interview him, even though they met with Michael Jordan a couple of days ago or something and said, everything's fine. We don't think Michael did anything wrong. They are still going to talk to this guy.
Right.
And the reason they want to talk to him is not because Michael was gambling on golf with the guy. They want to know if this guy ever bet on the NBA.
I see. Oh, go boy. 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 Go boy.
So even though it sort of looks like Michael and his gambling are off the hook with the NBA, it may not be so. Because if this guy says he has been gambling on the NBA, it could cast aspersions on Michael's associations with him. The NBA has said in the past. In fact, Stern himself said.
You know what we need for this? Where's Billy? Is he here? He does that Charlie Callis. We got to add that to the mix. And Billy's here. Come in. Go, little boy.
Stern said good moral character would not include going into a casino. And of course, we know that Michael does that all the time. Why, his father explains that his son has a competition addiction.
Go, boy. Go, boy.
And that's why he has to gamble all the time. So we'll just have to see what the outcome of this is. The NBA may still reevaluate its stand on gambling outside of basketball for the players.
Wow.
Of course, the playoffs resume tonight. The Bulls up by 1 game against the Suns. We'll have to see what Barkley can do with Michael Jordan tonight.
Go, boy. Go, boy. The Phoenix Suns are not a good team. The real final game was the Knicks and Chicago. And
yeah, this is just...
yeah. No, Chicago's so superior to any team. Really is.
All right. We'll see. An accident could happen. Michael could break his leg, you know.
Well, then they're in trouble. Oh, go, boy.
You know? This is a live sport. Now, according to the newspaper, there is some long-distance telephone service for gays and lesbians.
Oh, boy.
Now, what's that all about?
What are you talking about?
Community spirit?
Yes.
The creation of a Chicago marketing firm owned and operated by gays and that targets the gay community is the first and only long-distance service in the country marketed on the basis of preference.
Fred and I own it.
It already has 10,000 subscribers and hopes for 50,000 by the end of the year.
Yes.
Now, why they only cater to gays, I don't know.
They cater to gays who can accept a redwood or thicker. It's a very select group. Right, Fred?
Indeed it is.
No, not that voice, your Blacksville voice.
Oh, indeed it is.
To my voice.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know, it's just a long-distance company like any other long-distance company. It offers its customers discounts on long-distance service for people who make a lot of long-distance calls.
Let's make some gay long-distance calls. Hello?
Hello, Dubuque. You're on the air.
Would you like to come to my brat and beer party?
Beer and brat party. Absolutely. I think it's high time that you showed up with us.
Did you know that gays and lesbians spend twice as much as the average American per month on long-distance telephone service?
Gays love long-distance calls.
Really?
Like brat, too.
Seriously. They love it.
What is that all about?
I don't know.
There's something about gays and the telephone?
They love the telephone.
Love to chat.
In fact, my phone, I know a gay guy.
Yeah.
The phone smelled like his tuchus.
Oh, boy.
Right, Blackswell?
Absolutely.
Our phone smells like Blackswell.
And brat.
And brat.
They say that younger gays are more likely to switch to this service. The older gays seem to be more partial.
The older gays are into faxes.
That's right. That's right.
They're more stretched.
Faxing is much more impressive to older gays.
No, they're more loyal to their current long-distance provider.
And the real old gays like Pony Express.
Or touch-tush phone.
Amazing.
With
we have
big,
a giant
big numbers.
We have a giant phone that has two butt cheeks, like a pillow.
Yeah.
And then in between the butt cheeks is the dialing rotary.
Ooh.
And then you hang it up onto the butt cheeks.
Is that right?
And the phone itself is the size. It's like a giant genitals penis.
Is there a large gay community in Chicago?
Yes.
Huge.
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 Because I also know, I was reading the other day that they're starting up some lunchtime service so that gay men can meet each other. You know, there'd be a place where gays would go to eat lunch.
I'll tell you something that you don't know about gays.
What?
When I make a call
Yes.
and I'm asking for long-distance service, if I don't get a male operator, I hang up until I get a male operator. Right, Blackswell?
You too?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And the little buttons on the phone are cute.
I know one guy who was so cheap he had a payphone installed there. It's terrible.
In his buttocks?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Just go on with it.
The average age of first-time mothers in New York is going up, Howard.
Do you know where I keep my huge phone books?
I don't care.
Blackswell, look up Robin's number in the phone book. Here, I'll bend over.
Hold on. Ooh.
Ow! You tease.
I'm sorry.
What, you get a paper cut?
I got a paper cut. Now I have a fissure.
I have a hemorrhoid cut.
Yeah, you were saying, Robin.
The average age of first-time mothers in the city of New York is going up.
Ow!
Oh, will you behave?
He's letting his fingers do the walking.
Back in 1980,
Yeah.
the average age was 24. Now it's gone
for
up
what?
to 26. The first-time mother's average age. The reason for this, Howard, is what some people are calling the Cunning-Chung syndrome.
That's right. They wait too long to have children.
Not too long. They delay childbirth in preference for establishing their careers later in life. And then they become mothers in their late 30s and early 40s.
Looks like Robin is already in her 40s, and when she wants to have...
Beg your pardon?
You are. And when you want to have kids, you're going to be in your 70s.
That's right.
Robin plans to start a family at her 70. You know, there are women who plan to start, they plan to take estrogen, and when they're 70, they want to settle down and have a family.
I don't think I'll ever be settling down to have a family.
Robin's going to be like 90. having her first kid.
Somebody said to me the other day, "Do you have any children?" I said, "No, I'm too young."
My parents won't let me.
And one of the other people in the room knew how old I was, and she went, "Give me a break." And I said, "And when I get old enough, I'll be too old to have children."
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see.
You're going to have to clone with a dinosaur by the time you're ready to have kids.
Childbearing increased by 79% among women from 40 to 44.
Hey!
58% among those 35 to 39, and 35% for those 30 to 34. So women are really becoming prolific with their
yes.
genitals. In those age groups. Apparently, they start having them and they have lots right away because they got to get it over with before, you know, the eggs dry up.
Well, that's a happy story.
It's nice to know there's so many old mothers running around.
Remember, girls, keep it loose.
In Great Britain, doctors have decided not to do bypass operations on smokers.
Well, it's about time.
As long as they're not urgent.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the benefits they get from the bypass surgery are negated by the fact that these people keep smoking.
Of course, Robin.
So they say, why bother to do the operation?
Right.
Well, some people are very upset by this. They say, what's next? If you don't exercise, they won't operate on you. If you don't do this, they won't operate on you.
No, a doctor can't in all good conscience give you an operation that is just going to be useless because you're going to clog up in 3 weeks.
Oh, they do it here all the time.
Well, saying. Why don't you just kill all the smokers? Be done with it. They're going to die anyway.
We're all going to die. Why not just kill all of us?
There you go, Robin. You're fantastic.
I mean, that's your logic.
All right.
And
I know a guy had an ashtray transplant. He had his heart taken out, put an ashtray in there.
Make use of the space.
Yeah.
A 15-month-old Bronx boy drowned in a bath when his mother left him briefly to answer the telephone.
Who called? A gay guy?
No.
Long distance?
Hello?
Little Armando Ocasio was pronounced dead at Jacoby Hospital, where his mother, Waleska, rushed him after the Wednesday night incident. Neighbors said this could have happened to anyone.
Yeah, sure.
Good mother.
You know, how old was the kid?
15 months.
No, you don't leave a 15-month-old in the bathtub.
Why couldn't she take the baby out of the tub?
Of course.
To answer the phone.
You had to answer the phone? Who she thinks calling her?
Who's so important?
Who's she, the president? Yes, the Russians are bombing us. We need you immediately. I mean, who the hell could be calling her?
What, has she got a movie deal going? Or
Yeah. Ivan Reitman's on the phone. Needs her for a sequel to Dave.
She can't just let it ring.
Yeah, Ivan Reitman's on the phone. He don't want to make fart me. He wants to make something else.
But she had to take that call.
Of course.
So little Armando is not with us anymore.
Yeah, he could have probably grown up to be president.
Little Katie Beers is in the news, too. Remember
I got to know who was on the phone.
I don't know who was on the phone.
Hi, can you take time out to answer our survey? Oh, please, I'm bathing the baby now. I'll call you, please. I cannot. Okay, goodbye. Come back. Gee, that was important.
It'll only take a second.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I hear every time the phone rings, all the other kids hide. Who's next? You imagine, like who's on that phone? What's her name again?
Her name was Waleska.
Yeah. The hell's going to be calling Waleska? Who she thinks on the phone? Anuska? All right, what else you got?
Katie Beers, remember her? She was the little girl who was abducted by a neighbor and kept in a pit that he dug in his backyard.
Yeah, that was sick.
Well, a Long Island judge has decided that she's going to remain in foster care now, Howard, for at least the next year.
Must have been a tough decision.
Well, they finally got her mother to admit that allowing her to be abducted by this man was tantamount to poor parenting.
Right.
Prior to that, she wasn't sure. Marilyn Beers still says that she's going to get her daughter back at some point.
I wonder if Jerry Seinfeld will go out with Katie Beers.
Too old.
Too old.
Now, stop that. He dates high school girls.
Hi, Katie. This is Jerry. How are you?
Not even ready for high school yet.
You're not in the bathtub, are you?
I'm famous. Hello, is this Katie Beers? I met you in Central Park. When is your prom? I used to date Shoshana Lonstein.
But she graduated.
But she's 18 now. You are much older. And I dated Tony Katane. So there. Wouldn't that be a great matchup, Jerry Seinfeld and Katie Beard?
It might last a long time.
Yeah.
Be a long time before she turns 25.
Did you know I have 3 refrigerators in my house?
That might scare Katie.
And Carol Leifer could babysit for our kids. I used to date her. And if you won't date me, I've got a fetus on the other line. Thank you. We'll be back right after these words.
In St. Louis, a TV station is being sued by the Catholic Church. Well, at least they filed a complaint with the Federal Communications Commission. It hasn't come to a suit yet. Why is the Catholic Church upset with the TV station, KMOV?
Why?
Because they paid a prostitute to lure a priest into a room.
How old was she?
A male prostitute.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Why would they be mad at that? That's fantastic.
Well, they think that's wrong. So wrong to entice a priest into breaking his vows.
Where is the tape?
They haven't shown the tape on TV.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The executive at the TV station said, look, here, maybe things went a little awry. We wanted the prostitute to get the priest to talk about activity among other priests that he knew. And we told the male prostitute not to have the priest. Unfortunately, I guess he got the instructions a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
And there was very little talking, and I guess a lot of...
Me and
the Catholic Church is very upset.
This gives me an idea. Me, Jackie, and Fred on our next video are going to lure a rabbi in a room with a zebra. It's going to be wild.
See what happens?
Party. So the priest gets lured in, and the TV station tapes it.
Right.
Wow. Fantastic. What's wrong with that?
You gotta see it.
I gotta see that.
Gotta see it.
What's the father's name? Father Upya?
Oh.
Good boy.
Oh, boy. Whoop, whoop.
They say they were following up on a legitimate story. Maybe their judgment was wrong, but that's what they were doing. So we'll have to see how the Federal Communication Commission rules on that.
Yeah, maybe they'll get off my back. They realize
There's deeper problems.
Yeah, this is a more serious problem. Father Ben Dover and his crew.
You're cute.
You're cute. You're cute guy. Let me help you, my son.
Can I touch it?
What's your name, young man? Frank Smoker.
Tax problems for Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses.
Now, how's that
His
possible?
taxes are overdue.
Right. So what happened?
Wisconsin has an informal APB out for Axl. Officials say he owes more than $7,000 in back taxes on a 10-acre lot in Walworth County. He faces foreclosure if he doesn't pay by July 15th. Apparently, they're over in Europe touring. Don't know if they've been able to get a hold of him.
Yeah, I think he's good for $7,000. I think he makes that in a minute.
Yeah, he could, just take the petty cash and pay that. Health officials in Kalamazoo, Michigan, said they found the remains of a puppy in the freezer of a Kalamazoo pizza parlor.
So they lured a priest in to see the puppy.
Wow, he was thinking of that.
They have closed the pizza parlor for health violations.
I thought it was 75 cents extra, you told me. Awesome puppy on that with a meatball.
Investigators found spoiled food and unsanitary conditions.
But you would almost have to do that. Instead of using real meat, put some puppy or something on there because...
There's no direct evidence that they used the dog meat on the pizzas.
But there's no... I don't know how those pizza places make money. How much is a pizza still? Like $7? $8?
Yeah.
How do they make money with that? You got to sell like 9 billion pizzas to have a good day.
The animal shelter did rescue from an uncertain future 30 dogs and cats found in a nearby garage, however.
I went to a pizza place down south that used dirt and rock.
You want a dirt pizza?
A dirt and rock pizza. Although I got to admit, I'm partial to cat hot dogs.
Can you imagine if they were using dog and cat?
So they found dogs in the freezer?
Yeah, no, there was one dog in the freezer, But next door, apparently, there was a garage that had 30 dogs and cats in it.
On deck.
Yeah.
On deck. Batter up. They were probably using the animals as
At least
meat.
the meat was fresh. That's what I have.
Yeah, nobody died. At least they froze it. It was like not rancid or anything.
Well, yeah, but some of it was going bad, so I don't know.
It's a delicacy in Korea. But really, I don't know how these... I would love to speak to a pizza parlor owner on Monday. Find out what the profit is in a pizza pie. And, you know, just to like have all those guys standing around, you got to have the ovens going, you got to have the sauce, you got to have the dough, the cheese. I mean,
these ingredients must not cost much
yeah,
money.
I mean, they must be free.
It takes a lot of time to make it. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes time to make it. You got
And you got all those guys and the delivery man.
Yeah, oh, please. Unreal.
And those boxes.
Even though, I mean, seriously, the box has got to cost you about $1 a box.
All the boxes say, you've tasted the rest, now have the best.
Yeah, here's your dog. Roof, roof. Wow. Then you gotta hire all those idiots. And you gotta teach them how to use that cutter, that thing with the wheel on it.
The wheel and that big shovel.
Yeah, the big shovel. Hey, look at you, moron! You're taking this shovel, and don't break up at the pie. And use the cutter.
How come when they cut the pizza, it goes through the pizza but not through the box?
How does it know? The cutter is one of the greatest inventions known to man. That and the thermos. Yeah. How do it know what is pizza and what is box?
Smart cutter.
Smart cutter. Well, you gotta hire guys who know how to do that. It's not the cutter that knows, Jack. It's the guy doing the cut. See?
Oh.
Wait a second. Here's something he knows.
I'll make pizza. No, there's a guy on the phone who owns a pizza parlor in New Jersey. Wait till he tells you how much it costs. Why don't you take a guess first?
What?
About what?
How much it costs to make a pizza?
No, but wait a second. Wait a second. You could say 50 cents is what it costs to make a pizza. But the point is, you got to hire guys to run the shop. You got to
how much pizza could you be selling?
Yeah, I mean, how many pizzas a day can you sell? Dude, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How many pizzas can you sell a day?
On an average, about 75, 80.
All right, 80 pizzas, right?
That's during the week. On Friday night and Saturdays, you get at least double that.
Really?
Plus,
You know, meanwhile-
the delivery boys, you pay them minimum wage. They make all their money on tips.
Right.
You give them $1 a pie extra and whatever tips they make. Plus, they pay for their own gas.
They pay for their own gas?
I was a delivery boy once for Chicken Delicious.
Did you get fired?
No, you get 50 cents per delivery.
Yeah.
And I paid for my own gas. I got like a flat rate. I think
50 cents a delivery.
I think I got $2 an hour, 50 cents a delivery, and I paid for my own gas.
That's right.
Gee, you must have been a millionaire by the time you got done with that deal.
Why would you even take that job?
Yeah, I'd rather just be homeless.
Check this out. Delivering chicken
Yeah.
to Roosevelt.
Oh, you
in the
nuts?
middle of the night.
Are you crazy?
Midnight.
There is not enough money.
Midnight. Roosevelt and Hempstead.
Oh, man. And chicken business must be huge out there.
Huge.
Oh, man.
People would call 1 in the morning and say, order chicken. And
Hello, I need a chicken.
Go into the worst parts of Hempstead.
We're having a voodoo ritual out here. And what is it, Grillo? I'm sure Gorillas delivered pizzas.
Actually, I did. I used to work at a pizzeria, and they
Pizzeria.
A pizzeria.
A pizzeria.
I
Pizzeria.
used to work at a pizzeria.
Yeah.
They would sell like minestrone soup. They would sell minestrone soup, and they would go like to Waldbaum's and buy a whole bunch of little tiny cans of like minestrone soup for 65 cents and sell like a bowl of soup for like $3.50.
Oh, wow.
And then they would still have the bowl.
And then they would...
and then they would go down the Waldbaum's. They would buy the soup, and it would cost like $1.50, and they would sell it for like $3.
So they'd buy canned soup.
Yeah, and then they would sell it for like $3.50, and then they'd still have the balls to pay me like $4 an hour. This is the pizzeria.
They'd have the balls to pay you
The
$4
balls. The
an hour?
balls. Like they should be paying them more.
Right, what were you doing?
Yeah, what were you
I was doing
doing?
everything.
You're so
You were
lazy.
keeping this secret? They
I
should
was
pay you
splitting
more?
the atom in the bag.
What is it, John?
You gotta ask Grillo what he used to do to people that he didn't like.
What'd you do to the food?
I wasn't in the pizzeria though.
Yeah, but it's a different place. Tell him.
Yeah, it was a restaurant that I worked in Queens, and it wasn't just me. There was other people. Like if people would piss us off,
Yeah. You'd piss on them.
No, yeah, they like one kid spit into people's food. Like they'd say, "I like to take this home,"
Yeah.
and then sometimes you're so busy, you're taking so many people's plates that you throw the food away, and then they go, "Where's my food?" And I say, "Oh, I forgot it in the back," and you go digging through the garbage and pick up
Oh man, that you see, I could never do that to another human being. I must be more compassionate than most people.
But like they paid all that money for like the ribs and everything, and you had to like give him something.
You little bastard.
And you're saying you didn't do this?
No, he did it.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. And they would do it.
Yeah, there was other people.
Yeah.
Those other people.
Hey, man, don't make my potatoes anymore. He's off potato detail.
You must irritate him twice a week.
I know. You're off my...
I scrub my hands like a surgeon when
Do
I
you?
make
All right, I trust you.
Hey, Howard, I wonder what the cream cheese is.
Yeah. So what about you, man? You're making pretty good dough. $500,000.
Not quite.
You're
Not
clearing
quite.
$500,000 for yourself?
Say that again?
How much do you clear for yourself?
Very close to that.
Really?
Not quite that much, but very close.
How many morons you got working for you?
4.
Wow.
Is that one pizzeria?
No. I got 2 pizzerias.
Oh.
2 pizzerias at how?
4 at each.
Oh, so you got 8 morons.
Well, not really. I got one guy that swings.
Because even when I walk into a pizzeria, I go, hey, moron, get me some pizza because they like it. These guys, yeah.
In my town, the guy that worked in the pizzeria.
Hey, moron, get me a slice.
Coming up.
Do you want that cut?
You want cheese on that?
What's a puppy on that?
They don't have the same haircut, too. They'll have like flat top crew cuts.
Yeah.
Flat top.
All that. What?
Flat top. You want the flat top crew cut? You want the piece?
Where do you get those guys? Off the boat?
Nah, it's the reason you wear your hair so short. It's very hot in there with the ovens all day.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want to sweat all over the food.
Where do you hire those imbeciles?
OTB.
OTB.
The guy in my town had hired his brother-in-law, who he hated.
Right.
So the guy he brought over from Italy.
Yeah.
And the guy worked there every night. So the guy was working there must have been there by 3 years. And one day he said to me, he barely spoke English. And I used to talk to him from time to time. And he said, hey, do you think it's weird that, I haven't had a day off in 3 years?
Right.
Like, he didn't know.
Yeah, right. He's a moron.
He didn't know. And the guy, they really didn't, they gave him just a couple of bucks because he lived in the house.
Right.
So they said, like, hey, we're putting you up. They gave him, I don't
he
know.
lived at the pizza place.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Probably above the pizza.
Yeah, above the pizza place.
You know what's wild? They sweat like pigs all day long, but they're all fat.
Yeah, I know. Well, because they eat the pizza. I knew a real fat kid who used to work at a pizza parlor. I mean, he was a friend of mine. And then he finally just got smart and worked at a pizza parlor because we were spending so much money on pizza.
It's a good business to get into, Howard. There's no question about it.
And how long does it take to train to toss the pie and everything?
To what?
To toss the pie and do all that.
Oh, tossing the pie is an art, Howard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, those guys must take like years of training.
Yeah, we have a pizza tossing school that we send them to.
No, seriously, what do you do? You teach them?
Yeah, you teach them. It's not tough at all.
How long does it take you to teach a moron how to toss a pizza?
I mean, how long did it teach Gary?
Ooh. No, me it would take double.
No, seriously, how long does it take to teach an idiot how to toss a pizza?
That's a month, 2 months.
A month or two?
Not even.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have any kind of athletic skills, you can do it.
Right, I got you.
Hand-eye coordination.
Right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling in.
You're very welcome. And
And how come when I order a pizza, the guy always goes 15 minutes? One time I call up a pizza parlor, I go, I need 250 pizzas. Just see what the guy says. He goes, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
The average pizza takes about 8 minutes to cook.
You want Coke?
15 minutes.
You want the Coke, though?
All right, thanks.
Hey, can I give a plug to my pizza place?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's Gene Milano Pizza in Glen Ridge.
Okay, Gene.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, man. That's Gene from Glen Ridge with the Gene Milano Pizza Organization. Making $500,000 a year. Now the guy's in his pizza parlor going, this makes $500,000?
Yeah, he's going to have an uprising.
I know.
When he goes to work today.
He doesn't look like he's going to kick your ass, except for all the tattoos going up and down both arms. But he seems like a sort of a gentle guy, and I don't know. I thought he came across as really nice.
And Tim wasn't the only one who was excited. Fred was happy about it, and I think Fred's going to drop by. But Robin was also very excited to meet Jesse James.
Is that the titties were out for him? Is that what the deal was?
That's the rumor that was going around. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Well, the truth is the titties were out. Whether for him or not, I don't know.
Right, that may not have been the reason. But had you seen him at all on Celebrity Apprentice?
No, in fact, I only heard a couple of clips. I heard one clip that JD had pulled for when Dennis Rodman was here, where Dennis Rodman went off on him. So, in fact, I thought I knew what he looked like, and I was completely wrong. I don't know why. I thought he was Ricky Rackman. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vision I had in my head. Jesse James, I don't know, all those West Coast guys that were married to porn stars. So I probably couldn't even pick him out of a lineup before today. But again, really nice guy.
I mean, he's a lot different on Celebrity Apprentice based on the way they put it together. And you got to hear, he spoke more here than he did in the entire season. And I thought he was pretty charming. Did you like him on the show today, Benji?
Yeah, I think he was very likable. It was funny. I like how pissed he got at Ralph, though. It was like he's such a nice, friendly guy, but like Ralph really got him. Like he looked like he was like ready to start punching someone.
Well, one, that's Ralph's expertise, as we all know, and two, you don't want to mess with this guy, and he talked about that a little bit. He doesn't want to put that out there because he's challenged a lot, because he's known to be a pretty tough customer.
Takes one swing at me, I'll have all that miscongeniality money.
And miscongeniality too.
Exactly.
Don't forget that. Now, before we get to Sandra, we got to talk about Janine. He didn't really talk a lot about their marriage, but you could tell it was a rough ride.
Yeah, he kept calling it his nuclear disaster, which is, you never want to have your relationship referred to that way. And I thought that the line really hit it on the head. Howard goes, "It must have been great. You're married to this porn star." And he goes, "Dude, everything isn't the way it looks when you see it," and that spoke volumes about it.
Yeah, if you missed it,
well, actually, I'm sorry. I don't know if you have the line.
Yeah, I think I have the line you're talking about. Here's I think this sums it up pretty much. Hit it, Ted.
Was it weird for you being married to a porn star for a while? Like, I mean, is it that like guys think that they can have their way with your wife, and
I think it she'd been retired for like 5 years,
right?
And so it wasn't really like on the tip of your tongue, it wasn't like she's a current huge star, it was like over in the past and she was changing. But then, I think it's harder for her to be in that kind of spotlight,
Would you recommend that a guy marry a porn star, or do you think that they have too many problems that it's just too much of a thing to overcome?
Just buy the DVD.
Just buy the DVD. Yeah,
Don't even go there. Just buy the DVD.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better to beat off.
That was a line.
Yeah, that pretty much sums that up. And were you surprised when you learned that he was married, not today, but in the past, when he was married to Sandra Bullock? That kind of came out of nowhere, and that relationship seems to have stuck for a little while.
You mean surprised that they ever got? I mean, at the beginning, again, I'm as guilty as anybody. You don't know anything about people, and you just see them in the tabloids, and you see this guy that used to be married to Janine, who's some biker dude. You see him and Sandra Bullock together, and you go, oh, it must be Sandra Bullock's like, sort of fling, her wild fling. Certainly they can't really like each other, but I don't know anything about him, and it turns out that they really love each other.
Yeah, even he said she figured he'd be a bigot, he'd be this and that, and they ended up doing pretty well together. And Howard found out a lot about how they carve up their finances as well.
I think Howard probably got more out of him than he's probably done in any interview. And he even said at one point, he goes, when Howard asked about the sex, he goes, dude, I'm going to stop. I've already said enough.
Now, he also gave advice about how you have to listen to girlfriends and your wife, and he's talked about going gardening, and that's the greatest idea I've ever heard.
Right, but he said it in such a sarcastic way, as if you have to be really not sincere and go, honey, gardening's great.
And he, let's go to.
They don't have kids together though, right? He's got his own kid with Janine, but him and Sandra don't have kids together.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that it's easy to pretend to want to go gardening.
That's true. Paul in Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Great. Listen, I just wanted to tell you, I thought Jesse was really good today. You could tell it's like two different guys. I watched a little bit of that Apprentice, and it's like very uncomfortable there. And in the studio, he just seemed like he was at home, with you guys.
Yeah, he said, I got to tell you, he told me in the green room, and he said it when he first walked in, too. He said he was extremely nervous about coming on. He'd done 60 Minutes and all these other shows, but to him, Howard was like a different level, and he was very nervous about coming on.
Yeah, it just seemed like, he really hit it off with you guys. He was really happy to be there,
Yeah, good guy. Good guy.
Do you think people can appreciate a guy like Jesse James because of what he does? I think initially you hear, he makes bikes, and he's a
he just makes bikes. You know what I mean? Like again, I don't know much about motorcycles, and this much what I'm about to say I learned from Fred. And Fred will talk in a minute because he just showed up. But I didn't realize that to me a motorcycle is a motorcycle, and that there are guys who make motorcycles that's like a piece of art if you're into motorcycles.
It really is. I mean, it's one of the few things that you can buy. I mean, when he was talking, he said the most expensive motorcycle that he made was $300,000. When you think about a handcrafted, personalized motor vehicle for you, that's a bargain. I mean, if you can afford $300,000.
That was the other great part of the show this morning was when he offered Howard a bike, to make Howard a bike, and Howard said, first of all, listen, I could buy my own bike.
There are million,
Tim came to my office and started jumping up and down again and going, I can't believe he's not going to take the bike. Why won't he take the bike? He's got to take the bike.
Tim was very excited out there.
What he should do is he should get a Howard wig and go up to him and say, I was just kidding out there. I mean, I really want the bike. Now send it to Tim's address.
Now, Fred, you're an expert in this field. I
don't know about an expert, but
you're knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable.
How
Somewhat.
good is Jesse James at what he does?
He's definitely one of the top 5 bike builders that there are around. I mean, somebody brought up Indy and Larry today. Rest in peace. He was one of the greats too. And there are guys that are like that. And I really think it's like the last frontier in terms of like customized cars and bikes and things like that. People don't customize cars that much anymore because I think they all look the same and they all look like jelly beans. But at least with a motorcycle, it's like the last frontier. It's kind of like being a cowboy.
That Orange County Choppers, are those guys just an interesting show, or are they really good motorcycle makers?
You know what? The jury's out on them. The real aficionados of bike building, they poo-poo them. And I'm one of the few people that doesn't, because I think anybody that brings bikes into the collective consciousness of the United States and makes them more acceptable and makes them appealing to the masses. That was one of the things that Jesse was talking about this morning. When you're riding in traffic, people have no respect for motorcyclists. I mean, they barely have enough respect for other cars.
Well, I think
but when you're on a motorcycle, you're very vulnerable.
I don't know why this pisses me off. I'm always very respectful. Like a motorcycle guy, if he's in front of me, I like to be very far behind because I always think if he falls, I don't want to run him over.
Right.
The thing that always pisses me off about a motorcycle guy is when he goes between cars.
I agree with that. And I think in New York State, I mean, there's certain places in the country where I think that's legal. I don't think in New York State that is legal, and I agree. I think it's a dangerous practice, and I think people should not do that because it freaks people out.
Well, also, a motorcycle guy, like on the highway, they always show up in your blind spot when they do that.
Well, that again, it's like that comes down to bad motorcycle riding. I mean, I used to ride a lot when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. I rode a motorcycle before I ever drove a car, and I got a motorcycle again about maybe 10 years ago. I hadn't ridden in years. Maintained my license, hadn't ridden in years, and I, when I decided I was going to go back, I signed up for a motorcycle safety course, took a series of lessons, read a lot of books, and that's one of the reasons I feel fairly confident when I'm riding on the road, because they'll teach you where not to ride in the blind spot, what not to do, the stupid things that you can do to get yourselves in the trauma unit.
All this talk about safety, so that brings me to a question. You've known Howard longer than me. Mm-hmm. Is in your time with the show, was there ever any chance that Howard's getting on a motorcycle?
Not unless Bianca and Beth were like being held for ransom or something. There's no way that he would do it.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, Sal came by, and I don't know how it came up, but we got started talking about Robin again. And Sal at first was trying to explain himself, but then he broke down a little bit, and it led to a lot of good conversation, a lot of controversy, and Robin eventually coming in here to confront him on what's going on in Sal's mind. And I've been trying to figure that out for 3.5 years. But it was a good show, and watch for yourself. Why are you so glum?
I'm not glum. Just
You
waiting
see-
for my beating.
You seem
Not a
glum.
I'm on standby.
Why do you say that every time? I'm waiting for my beating.
Because whenever I express myself on this godforsaken shithole, I get ripped apart the next day. No, I do. And you know what? I'm going to. Maybe this is a good
What
thing.
are we talking about here?
I'm
Are we talking
gonna
about
censor
are we talking about the game, or are we talking about how
Whatever
you
we're
verbally attacked Robin?
which godforsaken shithole
listen,
are you referring to?
Okay, I know I attacked Robin. I didn't view it as an attack. I knew I attacked Robin. I didn't view it as an attack. It came off as an attack.
Well, how would you view it? In other words,
You
just said, I know I
without
attacked.
being redundant, it was constructive criticism that she took personally. And I know a lot of people feel that way, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I offended Robin. That wasn't my intent. But, if somebody else gave criticism, it wouldn't be as bad. I always have to be the guy that stepped on in
See,
the
that's
end.
not true.
That's wrong.
That's just not true.
No, it is. It's true.
It is. Don't
Because
pay-
I'm the only one. I'm the only one who gave Robin good advice, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you're the only
But-
one that gave her
and
that advice, and you think it's good advice, and that's you could think that. But
I can.
You don't have
You're not better than me, Gary, to tell me.
I'm
whether
not saying I'm better than you. I'm saying you don't have the ability to recognize that you took a solid 10 minutes on the wrap-up show to talk about how Robin is literally single-handedly fucking up the show, and it's your opinion that she's fucking up the show, and we don't say a word, and we let you say whatever you want, and you don't have the ability to think that she might be offended by that.
Well, you interpret it as me saying she fucked up the show. I said I would prefer if she just slowed down a little bit. And that's what I really said.
Slow down. Know your place. Slow the fuck down.
And that's it. And then it just turns into this whole... So, you know what? I'm not going to express my opinions anymore. on you guys. Because when I do, everybody gets into a tizzy. Everybody gets all upset. It's not worth it.
Actually, you probably get called on the carpet about 1 out of every 10 times you express your opinion, because you express your opinion a lot. But but seriously, when you were talking, did it not hit you in the head that Robin might not appreciate that? Were you surprised when Robin grabbed you in the hallway?
I lost a little sleep the night before.
Did she just?
It started hitting me like, oh boy, I wonder how she's going to interpret this. I hope I didn't. I felt bad about it. I thought it was.
But why would you feel bad? It's just.
I was
opinion.
a little harsh,
but it's an opinion. It wasn't an attack.
It was tough love.
Right, like when you said that Howard's tongue had Robin's feet mark on it, like was that?
It's got a Reebok mark.
Well,
Reebok mark.
Sometimes you have to paint the picture to get your point across, and I felt at that moment that was the case. And I have no ill will towards Robin. She told me to fuck off. God bless her. Whatever she wants.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what happened? She just grabbed you in the kitchen and said, fuck off?
She was in the kitchen.
Or did you say something to her first? Like, did you say, hey, I love you? Or
no, I didn't say, hey, I love you.
Hey, Robin, listen, about that you suck thing.
I said something like, hello, Robin. She's like, should I say hello back, or would I be talking too much? And
you go, really? What do you mean?
And I said, really? What do you mean? I really did. And she's like, and she goes, Sal. I'm like, Robin, as soon as I said that, and I do, and I said it on the show too. She goes, love you, schmuff. You don't start with that bullshit. Just because you have, and she really laced into me. She's like, just because you have problems at home and and you have the ability to stand up to your wife and you have issues with women, you think you could take it out on me. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the case at all. I go, Robin, that's not the case. I go, I just want to let you know that in certain circumstances, I think you chime. And she's like, fuck off. And she turned around with her cup of celery juice that's going to go up her ass in the next 5 minutes. And I said, Robin, I go, let me. She goes, take another step. I'm throwing this in your face. And I'm like, whoa, and that was it. And
you know what the greatest part is?
I feel, the thing is, I really feel bad. I don't like to have tension between people, especially your coworkers and your friends. I feel bad about it, but it bothers me. Like, I don't know, like I expressed how I felt, but it's not worth it.
I don't think you expressed it in a way that somebody would like. You thought it was constructive, but it really did come across as a bit of an attack. And my favorite part, by the way, is how you made a point of telling us that day, I'm not going to be one of those fucking assholes that says, I love you, Robin, but. And all you've ever said, sort of every sentence, including when you saw her in there, was, I love you.
Yeah, that's true. But I said that I'm not going to be an asshole that says, I love you, but, because I really do love her. Like, I'm not going to be a liar. That's what I meant. Like, after, on the show
I'll take 500 shares of Logistics, please.
You need a decipher from, like, the Da Vinci Code to figure out what Sal means when he says shit.
When you get caught in a conversation with Sal, I do understand why he was so successful at selling stock. Because he really tells you. Like, sometimes I would walk out of there confused.
Well, that's because he says 3 different opinions that often contradict each other in one statement.
I said what I meant.
What?
And
Robin walks all over Howard?
That I care about Robin, but I felt lately she's been chiming in too much, and I meant that. I expressed it in maybe in a harsh way that she took offense to it, and I'm sorry that she took offense.
Can I just say,
I don't like I don't like the tension. I do like Robin, and I think she's great at what
assuming
she
your
does.
criticism comes from a sincere place, did it ever occur to you that maybe a 25-year broadcasting veteran didn't want to hear the opinion of a stockbroker?
More like a 30-year veteran. Robin's been on there for like 30 years.
A wise man learns from a fool. A fool learns from no one.
What?
It's exactly what I said. If you guys can't interpret that,
a wise man learns from a fool, and a fool learns from no one.
So that means there's always something you can learn, whether God.
No, what it means is a fool has the inability to learn nothing, but a wise man should listen to the fool.
Yeah, you can learn from a fool's mistakes. You can learn from a fool and a fool's actions. But there's always advice to be given.
So who are you in the scenario? Who are you?
Unfortunately, I'm the fool because Robin has the experience. So I'm putting Robin on the pedestal here. But she can learn. So you can always learn something.
But I'm just saying it was unsolicited. Like if she had come to you as a friend
Richard Roper
and said,
have the right to tell somebody how to direct a film? No, but he could critique it. Yet he has no experience in that field.
By your
side, I have experience. At least a little bit, not as much as Robin.
Technically, you're not here to critique.
I'm
Richard's
not.
hired to critique. That's
and
a
that
big
goes
difference.
back to my first statement. I'm done giving my opinion and critiquing.
Oh, put the $1,000 on the table right now. There's no way you're done.
And
as much as it pains me, I'm done.
You're not done.
Honesty is dead.
And you're the fool, and you've learned nothing based on your analogy?
No, a wise man learns from a fool. A fool learns from no one.
So who have you learned from?
I've learned to keep my mouth shut. I've learned from this fool myself, I guess.
Jack in Long Island, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah,
I think that's an Aesop fable or something. Look it up. It's on Google.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to talk to Sal about what's going on with him.
Oh, this is Ronnie Mund.
Who?
I could tell. I could smell the Metamucil coming off your skin.
Yeah, well, hey, dude.
Yeah, I can smell.
You know what, dude? You do
Hold
this.
on.
You do this every time.
Take that diaper you have around your ass and wrap it around your mouth.
You do this.
Please?
You do this every time. You cause trouble for yourself.
I do.
And then you cry like a baby.
I'm not crying one bit. I'm just learning my lesson.
Now you did it with Robin. Then
I didn't do anything with Robin.
Like a little baby.
Ronnie, I'm not being a baby
Jack,
here. I'm learning, Ronnie,
like
that I shouldn't
baby,
express myself because you get in trouble.
Baby, man, you don't quit.
Baby, just the opposite of a very, very old person.
Go lock yourself
Oh, is this
in your
Jack?
room, like I told you
I'm
a long
sorry,
time
Jack.
ago. Go lock yourself in a room there.
Ronnie, I'm sorry, Ronnie, that you have to ride my coattails for attention, but your point is
not riding
your
your
point
coattails
is just
for attention.
worthless. It's just
No,
stupid.
my point is so right.
No, it's not
Because
right.
you do this
I
every
expressed
time.
myself about Robin. Robin got upset. I'm upset that she's upset.
Who the
It's
hell
not.
are you? Who
It's
are
not
you?
worth it.
Who are you to express yourself about Robin?
And who are you to tell me what I should and should not do?
Because you don't. You're hired here to be a writer.
And you're
or whatever the
hired
hell
to
you
be
are.
Howard's driver, so
Right,
shut the fuck up
exactly.
and drive.
I do.
What are you
man.
doing calling in on a show?
I'm waiting for him. I'm
All
busy.
right, so wait.
Whoa. Settle down, everybody. Now,
Jesus Christ, this guy.
Hold on,
Stupid
Sal. Wait a
asshole.
second.
You're a stupid asshole.
Now, Jack, doesn't Sal have the right to express his opinion?
No, not. Why should he? Who is he?
I mean,
Nobody.
if he's asked a question, he's simply answering it.
Nobody asked him to make it give opinion on Robin, whether she should talk more or talk less. Who is he? He's nobody.
Robin's
All right,
here.
Hold off on the break. Robin's here.
Rob, Benji, can you give it? Come right here, Robin. So,
I'm in the hall and people just keep telling me stuff about Sal saying various things. Why is this still going on?
Well,
didn't you have your say? I
said I
heard
felt
it.
bad.
No, he's not. He hasn't been degrading you. What he's saying is,
But he
doesn't.
said he was delivering a communication. I got it.
He doesn't. We were asking him how he could go off for 20 minutes and give his opinion. I put in quotation marks, and I said, "Did you not think that it might come back to bite you?" And he goes, "No, not really. I really."
Well, when somebody said Sal didn't understand, I said he could stop there. He doesn't have to put anything after that sentence. Sal doesn't understand anything.
That's true.
Just say that. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I would egg you on, Robin, but right before you walked in, Sal's like pretty much on suicide watch right now.
No, I'm not. Ronnie told me that Sal said he's losing sleep. I said, you shouldn't tell me that.
Yeah, because we feel bad.
So, Robin, did you take Sal's advice to heart?
Oh, shut up, John.
Do you really think I would take
Never.
Sal's advice for anything?
No. But clearly, I mean, you yelled at him in the kitchen, so something must have bugged you one way or the other.
Sal isn't attacking me. Sal is attacking all women when he talks
That's
to me.
what she said in the
and
email.
that's what I don't mind an attack on me. Like I said, when he said Artie did something wrong, it was Artie did something wrong. When he says, something to me, it's like, know your place. Well, where would my place be?
This week in Arizona.
Howard's at the window. He sees Robin talking to Sal, and he's got this quizzical look on his face, like, should I go in there? And then he just left.
He's like, so what would your advice to Sal be?
I don't have any advice for Sal, because if I try to give Sal advice, because quite frankly, when I was talking to him on the air, I was trying to explain to him what a Google search is, which I don't think he understands. And I got, know your place. Shut up. Stop piping up over there. So I can't give Sal advice.
Robin brings up a good point. Like, when you fight with Artie, why don't you tell Artie to know his place?
Because Artie threw a CD at my eyeball.
Are you still angry at him, Robin?
I'm not angry at
She's
all.
not
I didn't
angry
even
at
know
me.
this was going on. And people are telling me. I said, but the worst thing to tell me is that I made you lose sleep, because I'll keep you up the rest of your life.
kind of cool show happening today. Jimmy Kimmel, who I saw this weekend, by the way, we were hanging out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Jimmy and his cousin Sal.
He's dating his cousin Sal.
Yeah.
No, Sarah.
Well, I did have some alone time with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I got to ask him about, Sarah Silverman.
Did he open up?
He opened up, but, when a guy opens up to you in private, this is the problem with me associating with people outside of the show. They kind of give you they preface their statements by saying, look, this is some stuff I'm going to talk to you about.
It's embargoed.
And all I'll tell you about that, I'm embargoed. But I'll ask him about it on the air, and we'll see how clean he comes. But
yeah, but you know what? Do you really care more about Jimmy than the show? Fuck him over. Really?
Well,
let's go.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
right.
I am a man of my
Are you
word.
ever going to get better information out of him?
Yeah. But I got to tell you something. This is how bad I am with people. This is another story of how bad I am. Jimmy began to open up to me about him and Sarah and, what was going on.
And was really open,
And
huh?
and then afterwards, like Beth said to me, well, what did Jimmy say? I said, I don't know.
You had no idea.
I
You
have
didn't
no
even
idea.
listen. You
No,
blanked out?
I think I listened, but I didn't understand what he was saying. It didn't make any sense to me.
I think the only reason you listen to me in those situations is because you're so fascinated how fucked up I am. Heroin is like
Well,
something.
he's really fascinated about interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's boring to him now.
I listen to you because we're on the air together.
That's
geez.
right.
I can.
So in a
hear
year and a
you
half,
on the
I
air.
should stop calling
If Jimmy talked to me on the air, I would understand everything.
Right.
I mean, you'd question him.
Yeah.
You don't even ask questions.
No,
in
I
these
meant even
situations.
personally.
I did, Robin.
Even when I call you, you listen.
Yeah. But I even said to Jimmy, I said, I don't understand what you say. In other words, okay, you guys broke up and you're explaining it, but I still
But you don't get it.
I still don't know. I don't even know that you really told me anything here. I don't understand. And then he started again to tell me stuff. And maybe he was just being guarded or whatever, but
I have I've had that experience where people are saying a lot of words, but I don't
Yeah.
understand anything they're saying.
yeah, I mean, I'm telling
Yeah, they're
you.
usually foreign people.
I swear to you, I am as in the dark
as
before. And
Oh,
the only
good.
thing I know is
Dear.
what Jimmy has said publicly, that she broke up with him.
So basically, you are saying everything you know on the show, so that's good.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I could tell you everything he said, but it doesn't make any sense. So, he'll come in here, and whatever he's comfortable talking about, we'll
he probably
go
isn't
to.
comfortable talking about any of it.
Probably not.
On the air.
No.
All right, Jimmy Kimmel's here, man. Old friend of the show. We got a lot of old friends here. We don't have no new friends. We got only old friends. What the fuck?
Kind of like you.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. Come on in.
Jimmy.
Hey, what's
Morning.
happening?
How you doing, man?
Good, thanks. I thought you were going to come to my hotel room and wake me up
I
there.
wish.
At this thing.
So what brings you down to the show today?
What do you think brings me down in the show?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I have a lot of important things to talk about on the show. Gary's penis.
What you're talking about right now?
Yeah. No, I had a similar thing done to my penis, so I feel like I can add a lot to the conversation.
You're going to share your experience with us
Yes,
today about that?
I'll help make men in their cars crouch over throughout the morning today.
All right, Jimmy Kimmel's here. Bring in Jimmy.
Jimmy, you gained weight.
No, that's Artie. There's Jimmy. Jimmy's actually lost weight.
Look at Jimmy.
Jimmy's thinner. Good to see you. Artie is... Actually, Artie's
Hi.
thinner, too. Hey, James.
Hello, Howard. I
Host
can't hear
of-
anything in my headphones, but my cans.
Host
Oh.
of Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Don't act like you haven't seen Howard. We heard you spent the weekend together.
Yeah, we made love.
I thought that was going to be our secret.
No, that wasn't a secret. It was
Oh.
just, you know what it is?
What?
When I hang out with Jimmy, I feel kind of like I disappoint him.
What?
Why?
Because when I'm not on the radio, I'm not a whole lot of fun, and I'm actually kind of quiet and not all that witty. And I think Jimmy kind of worships
Are
me a
you
little
fishing
bit.
for compliments?
No. Jimmy, I'm being serious. Jimmy,
Welcome to the show, Jim.
Jimmy looks up to me.
That's true. That is true.
And so you expect that he expects something.
Like I had
more.
Jimmy's stories, like when he was in high school, he listened to me, or someone sent him a tape, and he wanted to go into radio. I don't know what the whole thing is, but
Is this your way of saying you want Fred to play music and for me to go on?
No, it's him saying he wants Ralph to play music.
It's always awkward because I know, probably Jimmy's expecting this great guy to hang out with him, and I'm really not a lot of fun, as Beth will tell you.
I disagree. We did have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun. I'm not. What do you think I'm expecting? I'm not expecting Robin Williams bouncing off the wall.
That would be annoying.
But I know, you like to sit and like Jimmy came out to see me, so it was like. Then I feel obligated that we should be together.
Yeah, well, that is one of the things when you go visit
when
somebody.
You visit someone, they actually are supposed to be with you.
You should do the Great Gatsby. You should just never show up.
Well, after Jimmy left, I said to Beth, I said Jimmy's a great guy. Everyone knows I love Jimmy. I think Jimmy's a really together great guy.
Together?
Yeah, he's got it
pretty
together.
Robin.
Yeah, he is pretty together.
Robin, you're sitting on a pot of coffee. How dare you judge?
Well, nobody said I was together.
I really like Jimmy. No one could be an easier house guest. I even like his cousin Sal.
He's an easy house guest?
I am.
Sal, yeah, because Sal is like that wall. He doesn't say anything. He says
like a potted plant.
He was nervous. He's not usually like that.
But I said,
you give Sal a sports sticker. He's fine for
I said to Beth afterwards. I said, Jimmy coming out to the house makes me realize I don't think I want people coming out to the house. So she goes,
good, thanks, Jim.
This is positive. She said, why? She goes, no one could be easier than Jimmy. Like, Jimmy's so great. I said, that's right. And the fact of the matter is...
Everybody else is a pain in the butt?
No. I said, even I can't handle that because I couldn't even sleep when Jimmy was over because it was like... I'm like, oh my God, Jimmy's probably awake and he wants to
Let me go down and see what he's doing.
So I'm up at 5 in the morning checking to see if Jimmy's up.
Who's up at 5 in the morning looking to get together with their...
I'm neurotic. I can't have people
He doesn't
over.
want Jimmy to be walking around while he's sleeping.
You know what you got to do, Jim, is you got to just... Howard knew I'd be asleep till 3 p.m.
And then at 9 a.m. I was going to have a chess lesson and I felt guilty. I said to Beth, is it okay that I'm having a chess lesson? Because what if, it was for an hour. So I was like, she goes, well, I guess so, but Jimmy's your guest, and he's here. And I go, but I want my chess lesson, too. You mean Jimmy can't hang out with his cousin and do stuff?
No, I'm fine. I don't like to get up early anyway. But in fact, I actually intentionally, I got up what I thought was early. I got up at I made sure to get up at 9:30. So around when your chess lesson was over, then we
could hang out.
Yeah, we
you should have combined the two and had Jimmy give you a chess lesson.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say to your guests, you know what? I got a chess lesson at 9 or whatever, and do whatever you want,
Everything
and I'll see you in the afternoon or
I'm
something.
just not good. I feel guilty.
Everything is very well scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're very well scheduled.
You know what's happening when you go there. It's almost on a list.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Jimmy went. Now I have someone I can call to ask how the house looks.
When you straighten yourself out, you might get up.
Well, yeah, they don't want crazy drug people knocking at the door.
What, me and 3 cops aren't fun to have over your house?
But so I always feel like
you don't want Artie making an escape.
And then the other weird aspect is I'm hanging out with Jimmy, and where Jimmy and I were having a private conversation, and I even said to Beth, I'm going to ask Jimmy about Sarah. Did you hear my rap about this morning?
No, I couldn't get my serious.
Dude, you and fucking Sarah went through weird shit. Howard told us on the air. What the fuck, man?
I would never do
Thank God you got out of there.
With a midget? A midget?
It wasn't a midget. It was just short.
No, I said, Jimmy and I were talking. And I even said to Robin this morning. I said, I sat with Jimmy. We talked for a half hour, an hour privately about a bunch of things. But one of the things being what happened with Jimmy and Sarah. I need an explanation because I was close with Jimmy and Sarah as a couple. And I said to Robin, I have no idea what Jimmy's talking about.
He says, first of all, of course, it was not for the air, but in the same, he said he went to Beth and he couldn't tell her what you said.
Because immediately, after we had the conversation, Beth wanted to come down, but she saw we were talking privately.
Oh.
She said to me, okay, so what did Jimmy say about Sarah?
Right.
I said, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he said.
For Howard to listen to you, you have to work Howard into the conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what I said either. I mean, I don't know.
It was the lamest, most
He
mysterious.
said he's not sure you know why you broke.
When a chick asks me what their day, if I want to hear what their day was like, I'm like, only if I'm in it.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been more interesting, but
No, it wasn't that it wasn't interesting. I just didn't understand.
He said you were saying things, but he couldn't understand what you were saying.
I don't understand what I'm saying most of the time either. So.
But maybe it wasn't not that interesting. Maybe it wasn't interesting.
And then also it's awkward because Jimmy says to me, "Look, this is private." So I said, "Okay, well, so what does that mean?"
I can't call
here's
the
problem.
Inquirer?
Here's the problem is that I know you would like me to talk to you about these things mostly because you're curious about this stuff, but I know that
Mostly because he's a yenta.
it's hard for you to remember what is okay to talk about and what isn't okay to talk about. So
Right.
for your own protection, I feel like
that was smart.
Maybe you didn't tell him anything.
Well, he didn't. I'm telling you.
I know I did. I told you
You did?
everything. I mean, I told you everything that was there. It's not that interesting. Sometimes
not. It was
people just
horribly
don't.
boring.
Something happens. I
Horribly
don't know what it
boring.
is.
It was terrible, actually.
It's unpleasant,
There was no good stories.
there were
Nobody
no
had
events.
any great problems, like, they
Was
are
the sex
harboring.
good? The sex was good, right?
Yeah. It was, I mean, for
you.
for me, yeah, it was. Yeah.
The sex was good.
You haven't checked with her?
I think I could safely assume it wasn't that great. For her.
But the public thing was.
Can I taste your juice?
The public thing was that she broke up with you, supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both times?
No, actually, I broke up the first time. She broke up the second time.
Ah, see, that's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
No,
Who's going to break up the third time?
I don't think they're getting back together.
Is it over? Howard
we
said
have
he
the
could
rubber
get
match.
you. Howard said he could get
So,
you two back together
I can't.
if you just gave him a little time. Now you think you can't.
Well, he can't even listen to Jimmy talk about the problem.
He couldn't stay in the
No,
room.
I listened. I didn't understand it. I
You
didn't
know what?
want to
You should interrogate her. That should be what you do because maybe you'll get more. Because
But alone, like in a situation like that.
I'm not the kind of person that looks for reasons afterwards. It's if you don't like me, I don't like you, and that's
Well,
that.
then why did you break up with her?
Oh, I don't even know. I just felt just depressed and just felt like that was something that I felt like that was the reason why I was depressed, and then I became even more depressed
After you broke up.
after we broke up. Yes.
You heard the music.
I know. What's the music? Fred, you kill it with the music.
He does. He does.
I could have. I was almost on the hook.
Yeah,
I almost started crying.
Wait, I missed it. What did you say?
I asked, so he broke up with Sarah the first time.
Yeah, you see, you're getting more out of him than I did.
You needed me
I told
there.
you that.
I know. I know.
Well, now that Howard's listening because it's on the air.
No, I listened. I really did listen.
And he
I
said
could tell
he-
you, I could tell you everything he said
Wait a
because he
minute.
didn't say anything.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what he just said.
Yeah.
So he was suffering a depression.
Right.
He decided it was the relationship that was depressing him.
He didn't tell me that.
He broke up, and then he got more depressed.
Do you
so
understand?
that's
You
why
missed
he,
it.
More or
You
less.
missed it.
Yeah.
More or less.
Do you understand how bad that sounds? Like men want to have the perfect woman, and in a sense, Sarah is beautiful. And she's funny,
Talented,
she's smart,
funny. Oh, my
great
God.
conversationalist, and we still get bored. This is what happens.
It's not even bored, really. But you're right, though. Yeah, it is. It's troubling because you think, oh, if I can't stay in a relationship with this person for a long time,
Right, that's-
Then
there
I
isn't
can't do
anyone.
it,
Yeah,
right.
And that's what starts to depress you.
yeah, exactly. And it's starting again right now.
Is it that you think the two of you are just not in love with each other anymore? Like the love left?
Well, they were
Yeah.
in love at your
Yeah.
wedding.
You guys were all over each other at the wedding.
Holy
Yeah.
Christ, I had to make out with my shitty food.
I mean, you really were. And
But-
it was so
yeah.
I guess at some point the two of you just realized, like, yeah, we like each other, but we're not in love with each other.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She decided that.
Oh, she decided.
That was funny at the wedding.
You're in love with her.
No, I'm not. I told you.
were.
Yes, but when it's over for me,
It's over. You close
Yeah.
the door.
I close the door.
Right.
Right. Sometimes I put my
open the
penis
door-
through the keyhole.
Yeah, but you open the door.
If he opens the door, he'll be in love again.
You close the door. You close the door, but you open the door again.
Let's put it this way: when the door's closed on me, the door is closed.
Right.
Yeah, but
When I
Jim,
close the door.
Jim, for every door that closes, one opens.
You're right. You're right.
And the one you better
So
open
are
is
you,
the heroin
are you
door.
on a tear now?
Oh yeah, I'm on a real tear.
He's fucking all of Hollywood.
He's having sex with cousin Sal.
Let me tell you what I did last night.
He's having homosexual incest.
I went to dinner with my friends Alex and Martha Wallow, who listen to the show, and
Oh, yeah.
had a huge steak. And then was pretending to make conversation outside the restaurant where I was almost certain I was going to shit my pants. And then I got in the cab and desperately tried not to shit my pants, and then thought it might be funnier for the show tomorrow if I did shit my pants.
Who cares about shitting in a cab? You've never done that?
You mean you had a big steak?
Yes,
And it
immediately it became
went through you.
an angry ball of shit.
Jim,
that
you're not
wanted to
a
come
New
out.
Yorker. Sometimes you shit in a cab just to make it smell better.
And then you wanted to take a shit. And why didn't you do it at the restaurant? Or are you too embarrassed?
Oh no, not at the
You
the
would
rest.
never
Plus,
shit
everyone knows I come out sweating. I have to take off most of my clothes. So then I get upstairs, and I know this is going to happen because there's a nightmare happening. Is that my cousin Sal has the key to the room in his pocket, and there's no way he's just flipping the door open and letting me run right through. There's going to
Did you tell Sal you had a shit?
Oh, I told him I had to shit, and I realized that was a terrible
Wait
mistake.
a minute. You don't have your own room? You and Sal are in the same room?
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is getting worse.
Sal's on the show. They didn't get him.
Well, they didn't,
They didn't fly him here.
They tell you can bring somebody out with you,
Jim, that is fucked. What are you doing?
Well, the truth is, I brought two people. I brought Jill Liederman, our producer, so she had a room, and then Sal and I stayed. We don't mind. We like staying in the same room.
Holy mackerel!
You really aren't in show business.
I guess not.
Really?
Jim, they used to get everybody at Mad TV their own room.
I'm not on Mad TV.
Yeah, well, actually, Nightline, they've got 4 people in a room there.
Martin
Courtney
Bashir has
Thorne
like 17 people living in a room with him.
Hey, would you? So did he get the key open in time and you took a shit?
He did, but there was some torment time where he held the key up and showed it to me and waved it to me, and I was like, "Open that fucking door! Will you open that fucking door?"
Or you're fired.
We're gonna shit all over you.
Don't make me shit in Jim Belushi's room again.
That's right.
Would you have Sarah on as a guest on your show?
Not right now. I don't think. Eventually, maybe.
Wow.
Really? Is that interesting?
Yeah, that is interesting. Not good enough.
We're just really booked
what
up.
are you talking about? Not good
No,
enough?
it's not
No,
good
it's because
enough.
she's doing every other show. She's busy.
There's no openings at your show?
You know what? We've got a lot of bookings right now. And no, I don't know. I just think it might be
Awkward. But it'd be fun.
might be more unpleasant than it would be worse.
Sarah, there's a very funny stripper I met who's doing a set.
Why would it be unpleasant?
Well, why do you think?
Because but she was, listen, when you were going out with her,
yeah,
she was on the show like every week.
Well, not that much.
I mean, a lot.
She was like your brother Theodore.
And now all of a sudden there's no presence of her like she was doing the.
Well, it's not
Unfucking
like
Matt
people
Damon.
like, where is she? I mean, she was on maybe twice a year. I mean, it wasn't like
Is that
she
true?
was, Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was more.
But she was on in the time that you two got back together.
Yes, she was.
Listen, I've been on 5 times, and twice when I was on, Sarah
was on.
Jimmy's going to hang out with us all morning. He's going to be here for a while. Ben Stiller is waiting in our green room.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, so what we'll do...
What he's saying is a bigger star has now...
No, Jimmy's hanging out being part of the show. He'll be here during the Ben Stiller
You
interview.
can sit there while Ben is...
Right.
If Ben Stiller's sitting here and Adam Sandler comes in, we'll have Sandler.
That's Jimmy's cousin, Sal.
Oh, this
Hey,
is the guy you
everybody.
spent
Good guy.
the weekend with?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's a nice guy. I was a little worried about him, but he's a nice guy.
Sounds very quiet. Yeah.
He's another Tom Cruise lover, this kid.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What's going on now? Do you have to leave?
I think I have to leave soon because I have to do Regis and Kelly.
You're doing Regis and Kelly.
Without Regis.
Mine, sans Regis.
Yeah.
And Sal, you're going over there too?
I'm going to head over there, yeah.
Well, all right.
He can stay if you want.
I understand your cousin Sam's here.
So am I saying goodbye to you? I don't want to hold you here.
I think
if
we
you
have to
all right.
leave, unfortunately. Sadly.
Sal, good seeing you.
Thank
It was
you.
nice spending time with you.
Great seeing
Jimmy, I wish you continued success. I hope these upfronts, whatever they are, go
Now-
well for you.
Now I feel weird about the next time. I feel weird about visiting you
Why?
because I feel like.
You mean visiting him at home?
Yeah, because I feel like we
Just
always get
visit
the
me.
honest account, but then I feel like I'm making you uncomfortable when I'm at your house.
Not at all. I love being with you. We go away on vacation together. I mean, what's the matter with you?
Well, I don't, because you said then you feel like you have to entertain me. You don't have to entertain
Don't worry.
me.
I know.
I'm
I know.
self-entertaining.
Believe me, and so am I.
Okay, good.
How dare you? Look, I don't know what's going on in your romantic life. I'm sorry
Is
you
he
and
dating? You didn't even find out for us.
I would never ask. I don't know
I'm
what he's
dating
doing.
Neil Patrick Harris.
You're not the type of guy that we're not going to open up the tabloids and see you're dating like every woman in Hollywood. Now that
No.
you're free of Sarah and you're a single
Definitely
guy.
not.
You're not. You're not going to womanize.
What are you going to do?
You know,
are
I'm
you
not
going
like
to
that.
a dating service? Are you? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm on,
Millionaire matchmaker?
I'm on that Ashley Madison.
Well, he
You're
has
on
a
Ashley Madison. You only date married women.
Yes, I'm only fucking married women.
Well,
Right.
Jimmy has a certain type. I think he's going to ask Elaine Boozler.
And so the dating will begin. The dating will commence as soon as you get over Sarah.
Theoretically, yes. I guess so. Yes.
Excellent. We can't wait for that. Who will it be? Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Well, who will the lucky lady
Will
be?
you be picking up women on the show? Will you do that, Moon?
No, I don't think so. I can't imagine that will happen.
Who are your guests for the rest of the week when you get back to L.A.? We'll pick out one
Well,
for you.
Ben Stiller.
right, you
I
can't go out
really
with
don't
him.
know who the guests are, to be honest with you.
Do you fantasize that you'll be with another famous woman? I mean, Sarah was famous. certainly.
I've decided never, ever to go out with another famous person.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Unless they're really, really good looking.
Kathleen Turner.
Why?
Yeah. Maybe another
Because-
hot Jewish comedian like a Whoopi
There's
Goldberg.
nothing I hate more than being the subject of. I don't like being the subject of speculation. I don't like people being interested in my life like that.
But aren't
So you got into the right business.
But aren't
Yeah,
people
I
going to
know.
always be interested in your life?
Not nearly. It's exponential when it's two famous people. Nobody cares about who other, like nobody cares about who Conan is dating.
Right.
Right?
Well, because Conan's married.
Yeah, but nobody cared beforehand. And nobody cares that he's married.
I
either.
think they would. Well, you're saying because she's not in the business,
Right.
is what you're saying.
Right.
Oh, I see. So when you're dating another famous
I'm gonna
person,
try to be more like Conan.
you're going to try and be like Conan O'Brien.
Yes.
That sounds like makes a lot of sense.
You better
to
get
me.
better writers.
But it is possible because you're in Hollywood and you meet the girls you meet are girls who come on your show who are in fact famous, and a lot of these. Actresses and stuff. I mean, it's hard to resist.
I say it's
You know
not
who I
hard for
see
them to
him with?
resist.
No.
I think you ought to fix him up with Renee Zellweger.
Oh,
yeah.
I could have fucked her on the set of The Bachelor. I let her off the hook.
Renee Zellweger.
No, I know she's that's
Have
not.
you
I'm
met
not
her?
interested in that. I have met her.
You've had her on the show?
I think so.
Not attracted to Renee Zellweger?
It has nothing to do with it.
What? Would you never think about fucking her?
No,
really
I
don't?
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm not interested.
If I was single, I would fuck Renee Zellweger. I would.
You could get her at Bridget Jones' Diary.
I told you
do
I
you
don't want to go out
fantasize-
with anyone famous.
But wait a second. You don't fantasize like maybe a night with Carmen Electra or nothing like that?
That's not my thing.
What do you mean, not your thing?
Well, wait a minute. What about some supermodel?
Explain
No.
that to me. What do you mean you can't take Carmen Electra?
I need. I think there has to be some depth there for me.
Oh, so supermodels are all
So
stupid?
Sarah was so deep. She
Well,
was
I'll
deep,
put it to you this way: Sarah would never do this. Carmen Electra.
Look, I said Jimmy was deep.
Carmen Electra was once asked on a talk show, "What's the one thing she couldn't live without?" And after she thought for a minute, she said, "Food." So I don't think Sarah would ever do that.
That's a good answer.
But do you think that Sarah will date someone famous?
I don't know.
Does she
I have no
need
idea.
that?
No, I don't think so.
She doesn't need that. So, well, it'll be interesting to see what you end up doing. Sal, what do you think? Sal, you're married.
I'm married, yeah.
So, but
Jimmy
what do you
is,
think?
I wasn't supposed to say anything, but he's secretly dating a pizza chef, this guy Chris Bianco. I'm not even kidding. He flies him out. The guy
is a
stayed
little
with him
bit
for like a week, and then there's another chef that comes in, Adam Perry Lang, and they cook, and that's his focus right now.
You love to cook, right? That's your thing.
I do, yeah. I love
You're
to
a
eat.
cook?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
By the way, fucking a pizza chef where I'm from is not
Rob,
gay.
you should try eating food. It's delicious.
I'm going to do that when I do that.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. All right. So, and also, will you and Sarah become friends in the future where she will be able to come on the show?
No, we will not.
You will not become friends.
I don't know.
It's going to be a major
I like that
showbiz
answer.
feud that lasts centuries.
I agree with you. You're not going to become friends.
Listen, I got enough friends.
Right. You will not go the route of Johnny Carson and date some of the, tea time players or, you will not.
No.
Yeah, have the girls on your show. Hire
I don't
them
have
just
any
to date
tea time
them.
players.
You don't?
No, I don't. No, it's not my. You know me. It's not my
Look,
thing.
Howard, he was on the Man Show and never fucked one of the juggies.
Not
Like,
only
a
didn't
bit-
He was
a bit
married.
was-
Not only didn't I fuck any of them, I would hide in my room reading from them. I didn't want to be part of it.
Will Leno,
They don't want to read with you?
Let me, before you leave, because I know you have to go. Will Leno's new show fail? I'm talking about this. Now, you're in the late night game. You spend a lot of time on your show, and I know you do a lot of hard work, and people should watch Jimmy's show. But will you take a look at Leno's new show? And you've probably given this some evaluation. You probably even have research on this. Don't you think, this is what I think, Leno made the biggest mistake of his career, not staying in late night television?
I think it would have been safer to go to ABC. Yeah, for him to go to ABC at 11:30.
But that would have been horrible for you. You wouldn't want him at 11:30.
Not necessarily, because it would be a better lead-in than Nightline, and perhaps there would have been other networks that were interested in me.
But you told me you would never follow Leno.
That's right. You said you were going to leave.
No, but I changed that eventually.
Oh, did you?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You thought it through.
Yeah.
You said I'll go on at 12:30. Leno can go on at 11:30.
Yes.
You really would have gone ahead and done that? I don't believe you.
I honestly would have. Absolutely.
You would not have gone to another network. Let's say if
I might. I mean, I would have considered.
What if Fox
that.
needed a late night?
I
show?
would have considered it. Yes.
You would have.
Yes.
That would have been a good thing.
Yeah.
But now Leno will die at 10 o'clock, won't he? It's the end. Do you think? Do you ever envision a scenario where perhaps Leno could end up going back to the Tonight Show and they fire Conan, and then Conan or whatever his name is comes over to ABC?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about all of those things, but I could envision any of those things individually happening.
Well,
yes.
how do you feel
Yes.
that Leno's going to do?
I don't.
Give us your prediction.
I don't. You know what? I don't think it's going to be successful. I'll be honest with you, and I don't think it has anything to do with Jay. I think it has all to do with the local
Time slot.
affiliates and their news, where they make all their money. And if the lead-in is not as strong, they're going to scream and yell and demand something, and it's going to be a mess.
This Leno move could be the end of all television, is
It
what
could
you're saying.
be.
Right? This could actually
Let's
end
hope so.
television as we think
Let's
about
hope
it.
so. We should start twittering more.
Will Jay take Stuttering John?
Yes, Jay will definitely take Stuttering John, and I believe that Jay has told Stuttering John, and Stuttering John just isn't saying because they want to keep it all a secret.
You think it's that big a deal? I mean, why
I
can't
think
John
they think it's that big a deal.
Really?
Do you think if Leno gets into real trouble, he'll divorce Mavis and date Sarah Silverman?
That would be a surprise.
She was lucky for you, maybe.
If Leno gets divorced, he'll try to steal Beth.
My prediction is Leno will do poorly. I believe it will not last long. I believe Conan might be moved out, but he will be tarnished. In other words, he will have failed.
You're saying Conan's not going to be successful.
I don't know, because if Jay isn't successful, Conan has to be more successful than Leno was.
And also now, if Jay doesn't do well, it hurts Conan's rating.
Right.
Aha. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying everyone's fucked?
Yeah.
Jay's going to screw up everybody.
You're not fucked. You're in the perfect position.
You're so not fucked. You're not dating anybody.
Yeah, but I'm flying like Coach, you know what I mean?
You're shitting in front
What
of
is
Sal.
it, Ralph? Quickly, because Jimmy Kimmel has to leave here. He has a very active
This is never
life.
a good thing when Ralph calls, I know.
Well, Jimmy, I love you, but I don't understand.
That's great.
How come you're not out there getting laid and going crazy? And you know, like I know you're straight, and so like, why wouldn't you want to? Like, you want to have conversations or something, it sounds like?
Well, Ralph, you know I'm not that type, right? I mean, I think you would have gathered that about me by now.
You're not a pig. You're not a sex
It's not
maniac.
like you got to go in and just pick up some floozy and every night, but like...
Jimmy, you should be vomiting at Howard's house. You got to live it up.
I told Sal to vomit at your house.
Hey, Ralph, what bits has Jimmy ripped off from Howard lately?
I've been ripping off Jimmy lately.
There you go.
Have you seen Stuttering Sal?
All right, Ralph. Jimmy,
but really, I mean,
you think Jimmy should be banging the hottest chicks in Hollywood?
Ralph, give me a little time. I need to.
Maybe you need Ralph to help you with that.
Yeah.
All right,
moving
thank you,
in.
Ralph.
Jimmy's got a huge TV.
I do have the biggest TV in the world.
I haven't
All right,
seen it.
listen.
Tom Cruise and his mom out.
You're going to
Can
be
you tell the story real quick of why, like, that thing that you did to Jeffrey Ross?
what?
Oh. You know what? I think we'll miss the Regis and Kelly show
Yeah.
if we tell it, though.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I told you about the prank he pulled on Jeff Ross, Sal.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I told him he would say we get a heads up ahead of time who's going to be voted off. So I texted Jeffrey Ross
On Dancing with the Stars.
On Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, I said you're safe, and he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm
But
sure."
Jeffrey was really into it and in love with this girl, and
then on the air, he was pretending to be nervous the whole show, like he didn't know he was going to. And then on the air, you see him when he gets eliminated. He goes, "We lost."
I had inside information. Oh, that's great. That's right, because you guys get tipped off who's going to be losing Dancing with the Stars.
Nobody thought we did.
Oh, he thought you did. I get it. All right. Thank you, Ralph. You're a fascinating phone call.
Sal was trying to kill the odds. You know, he was betting on Dancing with the Stars.
All right, listen, Jimmy, I'm not going to hold you any
Thank
longer.
you,
Jimmy Kimmel.
We had a beautiful weekend. Thank you
Beautiful
very much.
I love you. It's always great seeing you. Yes, and anytime you're around, I want to be with you. And Sal, you too. You're always welcome. All right. The great Jimmy Kimmel and Sal, his cousin. Sal, what's your last name?
Do I have one? Icono.
You don't use that name?
No, I do. Yeah.
You switched it to Kimmel?
That's the way Opera Man says Icon. Howard.com.
That's right. And so there it is.
You set the bar pretty high for Howard's house guests. You said you were such a good guest.
You know, I'm very. I was raised well. I clean up after myself. I keep quiet, and people seem to appreciate that. I think the great thing is Ralph really set the bar so low that
by puking everywhere.
Yeah, and I appreciate that he did that. I really do.
So you had a good time today?
Yeah, I had fun.
No, it was a little awkward talking about your past
I know this is terrible. I
relationship,
have
right?
to get the fuck out of here. I'm not kidding. I really. They got a live TV show I'm gonna miss.
I really am. Nah, I kind of am. I'm kind of done. I mean, I love it here, and I love doing the radio show and all that stuff. But I think after a year and a half more worth of shows, it's time for me to sing my swan song. You know, and some things are starting to bother me, and I don't want it to get ugly.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There are things around here that are bothering me.
I see.
And I'm not the type that complains to people, so I just let it brew inside of me, and then I just leave. But, I don't know. Stuff bothers me. Stuff bothers me all the time, but I don't know. It's enough already of me.
Well, David Hinckley just had to change his article.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, it's like Jimmy said to me over the week. He goes, "You got to stay. You know, it's so great. The show's never been better. Blah 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 blah. You guys work so well together." I said, "Yeah." I said, "We do." I said, "We're good at this, but how much longer can you keep doing this thing?"
Well, here's a rap that everybody gives me, and so I'll ask you now. You'll be fine doing nothing. Everyone says, "Can Howard get?" You know, people go, "Howard, I know his personality. I listen to him. He's a personality. Can he stay home and do nothing?"
Well, he won't doesn't have to do nothing. You know.
No, there are things I could do. I could straighten the pillows. I have to have a meeting. I have meetings about everything. You know. I guess I am the. I am the leader of the show, so I meet about everything. My meeting today is with Gary, Laura, my assistant, and Tracy. Because something set me off. Carol Leifer, who was our guest the other week, sent me a box of chocolate. So, I get a list of things that were sent in. So now probably that's a week old or something, or, I don't know how many days old.
It came in last Wednesday.
So I got word today. So, I got to put a system in place where somebody back there goes, "Oh, Carol Leifer was a guest. She sent Howard a personal note and a gift." It should go right over to Howard.
Right.
In other words, we're not going to go through the usual system of putting. If someone's got to be
a week later, it'll show up at Howard's desk.
Somebody's got to be a little bit on top of that, so that I can get and then I want to figure out how I can get a note to Carol Leifer real quick, a personal note. Like maybe I dictate it to either Tracy or Laura, and they, I don't know if any of them, Laura takes dictation. I can just go, "Hey, Carol, thanks so much. You were great." And then right away it gets acknowledged that we got her box of chocolates. Because that's really nice of her to do.
Doesn't fall into the black hole of, wow, I wonder if my gift got there.
Yeah. So then I called Laura last night. I said, "How do we get this done?" I said, "Let's have a conference call. Because if I don't conduct it, it'll never get done because no one takes it seriously."
Well, we would take that. See, we would take that seriously without
Gary,
you. We really
how
would.
many years we've been doing this? 20-something years.
Right, but we have
nobody can figure out that, like, when Carol Leifer sends something, that I should know about it pretty quickly. I mean, who wants a box of chocolates sitting around for a week anyway?
It wasn't a week, Howard. It hasn't been a week. You knew yesterday. It got here late Wednesday afternoon, and you knew yesterday. That is some time, but it's not a week.
I don't know. And then, like, it's sitting in your office, and like, who opens the mail? You?
No, Tracy opens the mail.
Right.
She logs
Tracy says you get the box of chocolates.
No, that's not true.
That's what she said.
Tracy opens up all the mail.
Yeah.
She logs it in. So it's, Carol Leifer sent this,
Right.
and then everything comes through me just so I could see it, because some things I put in your bag that day.
Right.
Some things I just need to know that you're getting, even if you don't take them. I need to know that somebody sent you a screener, whether you saw it or not.
Okay.
I need to know that a book came, so when they call, I can say, yeah, we saw the book.
See, I know I'm going to have a meeting today, and I'm never going to get to the bottom of this. I'm
You're
already
already
zoning
having
out.
the meeting, yeah.
I'm already zoning out. Like Gary,
we're in the meeting.
Like Gary's explaining it to me, and I just go, can't you just get this done?
It's like Jimmy talking about his breakup with Sarah.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like I just go, I don't know how to get it done, but you get it done.
But you get a list every day. I guess you just didn't see it quick enough.
No, but we get the list. By the time the list gets to me, and the time I get to read it, it's 5 days old.
Howard, I'm your man. Let me open all the mail.
You have the meeting,
and I'll log it in.
Yeah.
No, what you're saying is certain things should get personal attention. Like they shouldn't go through the system. You should just be expedited to you that Carol Leifer sent.
Right, but you can't.
And then something should be triggered to say, Howard, you dictate this thank you note to Carol Leifer, and it'll be sent right out.
Right.
We have the address.
There's certain, when you get them, these things need to be taken care of right away.
Like I noticed Letterman's got a system in place. Whenever I do anything for Letterman, there's a note that comes. It's typed, and it's like from the desk of David Letterman, and it goes like, "Hey Howard, it was really good seeing you. Let's get together sometime." Blah 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 blah. David Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell, like he must. I don't even know that he writes it because it's typed. I don't even know that it's his thoughts. It seems like it's someone else is doing it for him.
Right.
But that's cool. I want that system. But I know I'm going to get on the phone today and be aggravated that I even have to take time to come up with a system. Like I shouldn't have to.
Would you believe me if I told you we will handle it? You wouldn't.
I would. What are you going to do? Let me hear it.
Well, listen, this is the first you brought it up that you want something that quick. Because usually,
wouldn't it be cool, like if I said to Carol Leifer, "Hey, that was really nice of you to send something. It was totally unnecessary, but man, you're the greatest, and the
hardest part of the system is deciding who fits the bill.
Right.
Like in other words, if Mark Harris sends you something, does that fit the bill?
You answer the question. You answer your own question.
Probably not.
Okay.
But
so
I never
who
know
am I
with you.
talking? You think I'm talking about Mark Harris?
No, but I never know with you because sometimes you go.
You don't know the difference between Mark Harris and Carol Leifer?
I know the difference between them. But,
I don't.
But sometimes.
Yes, you do.
No, sometimes to you.
All right.
You're like,
name a name that you think you can't tell what to do. And then
Mark Harris must have been a bad example.
Right. If that's the example.
Beetlejuice send something, Gower.
I got to look at the schedule for the last couple of weeks.
All right.
No, that doesn't work. I was going to say D. Snyder.
All right. D. Snyder sends me something. What do you think is the answer?
You probably should know.
That's right.
Craig Gass.
What do you think?
You probably don't need to know.
Right.
You know already. You know. Now it's getting embarrassing.
Wait, this is an embarrassing game, isn't it?
Well, I didn't want to have the meeting off the air, but this is what happened.
This is getting embarrassing.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
Craig Gass is on top of the Chrysler
Craig Gass
building.
would send me something. It would be in the list, and then I could respond to it.
First of all, I know Craig Gass. He ain't sending you something.
You don't need to know immediately.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't need to know that day.
He was just about to. Now he just put it down.
See?
Right. So, like Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, yes.
Right, and then I want someone to say to me, "Okay, do you have a note you want us to send Jimmy?" And I'll just say, "Here's."
All right, here's a better example. Lisa Lampanelli was here the other day.
Good.
And she handed you, while you were in here, she said, here's an autographed DVD and CD. I'd love, for you to watch. But it's in her mind, it's a gift.
Okay. What do you think the answer is on that one?
Probably not.
Right.
See, you already know.
You know the answer to this.
Yeah, but Robin, here's the point, and you know this because you've seen me for 25 years. I know till I don't know. And then when I don't know, I'm the biggest dick in the world.
Even if you get it 99% of the time right,
meaningless.
You're helping me. You're helping me.
No, because 1% will be the first 3 hours of the show.
Right, Gary's got a point.
No, listen. Okay.
Be honest.
Lisa Lampanelli is great girl. But she gives me a DVD.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Lisa Renna.
Go ahead.
Sends you her book.
Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, it's with a note. Howard, you're great. I think she sent the note something like, I couldn't wait for you to have this book. I think you're going to love it.
Okay.
Is that a gift or a promotional item?
What's your answer? What do you think?
I think it's a promotional item, but she sees it as a gift.
We know that. And you'll put that on the list, and if I want to write to Lisa Renna, I'll write to Lisa Renna.
Even though she sent you a personal note?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I'll read the personal note and I'll figure out what.
But does anybody in here understand that Howard might go, Gary, Lisa
Why
Rinna
didn't
sent
you
me a
give me
fucking
that?
personal
But Gary,
note.
you got
Well, I'll
it
tell you
right.
when it'll happen. If Lisa Rinna calls and says, "Did you ever get my book?"
Right, exactly.
You just got it 100% right. Every example you gave, you knew the answer to.
Yeah. But Robin hit it right.
Now, Gary, I'll give you an example.
But he also threw 95 great pitches out of 100.
Lisa Rinna comes in here, and she sends me an antique radio.
That's a yes.
Ah.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
I go here. Fran Drescher used to come in all the time. And
Go
then
ahead.
after she came in, I'm going to send you a gift. And she would send you those fucking croutons.
The pasta and the croutons.
Right.
It's a gift. Howard, I am sending you croutons because you're a good guy.
Okay. What do you think?
I think no.
Exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm sending you croutons.
Send me the croutons, so I'll talk about them on the. But okay, Fran Drescher comes in, and she's on the air talking about she just bought a Kindle, and she thinks it's the greatest thing. So then you get a personal note in the mail from Fran Drescher, and it says, "Howard, I love being on the show. I want you to try a Kindle. I went out and got you one."
That's a yes. That's a resounding yes. Here's
so
one.
There you go.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is a tough one, but
go ahead.
Remember,
I bet you it's not tough.
Okay, remember the comedian Bobby Slayton?
I remember Bobby.
Bobby's wife owns a kids' clothing store.
Right.
Right. He sends you a box of clothes for your kids.
Go ahead.
So the answer.
What do you think?
Well, now it's tough.
Tell me what you think.
The answer is it's a yes, gift wise, but does Bobby make the cut celebrity wise?
Now think about it. He's promoting his wife's clothing line.
But it's still a big
do you
box.
think there's a real rush for me to get to Bobby Slayton on that one?
Yeah, but I'm sure your daughter's favorite designer is Norma Slayton.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Gary. What do you think? That can wait.
Teddy Slayton.
In other words, I'll get a note out to the guy, but, you know.
All right, but that's a tough one because he is a celebrity and it was a box of clothes.
Right.
You know what?
That box of clothes is going to end up in a garbage.
Let me tell you something. There's two things
I'm
that
going
are
to give it to
iffy.
charity, which is 99% of what I do around
So
here.
I'm gauging the level of the celebrity and the quality of the gift.
The only one you got wrong so far is Carol Leifer's chocolates. That's it.
Which started this.
The real one.
There's
Yeah,
two
the real
things.
one.
There's two things that are iffy: whether or not Bobby's a celebrity and whether or not those are clothes.
Right.
Gary, you missed one very important aspect. If Howard was single, you give him anything Lisa Rinna said.
Right.
Right.
Tracy-
Oh, when I was single, it was terrible.
I know, I can imagine.
Gary and I had meetings about that. It was
that
so
was
embarrassing.
so uncomfortable, Howard. That was-
Really?
When I was single and there was a hot chick on the show and I wanted to go out with her, I would somehow say on the air, "Hey, yeah, you know, you should get me your number." And then
That's a good
Gary,
code.
Then Gary would walk in and I go, "Gary, did you get the number from her?" And he goes, "You wanted me to get the number?"
I missed the signal on one very important person.
Yeah, he missed a lot of signals.
And Howard goes, because I remember Howard goes, "You got the number?" And I go, "You were serious? Because what the fuck is wrong with you?"
But get the numbers. Like if Joe Girardi's steal sign was, look, steal.
I felt bad
Oh yeah,
too. 'cause I
Artie,
didn't want to
you
put- I
go in
didn't
the
want-
green room and get a fucking number from somebody.
No, look, listen. Teddy tried it for me a couple of times.
It's embarrassing.
But Howard, can I ask you
you
one
know what?
question?
And the problem is, nobody's going to say no to giving you the number.
Well, first of all, they're giving me the number, so that's
Right.
already creepy.
Yeah.
But
they're giving
nobody's
you the
going to
number.
say no. You don't know whether they really, you don't know whether you're forcing these people to give you a number or not.
I was too busy or lazy to date, so it was a perfect dating opportunity.
Absolutely.
If I
you
could
took
just
full advantage.
If I could do everything on the air, I was fine. It was like, wow, this is cool. I'm on the air. I met a nice, attractive girl. She said something about her phone number on the air after I badgered her.
I have a phone number.
Yeah, okay. Gary, did you get that?
I have a phone, Howard.
Do you own a phone, or are you a heroin addict whose money took away their phone?
Gary,
Well,
are
you don't want my
listening?
number.
Right.
But Howard, let me ask you a question because I think the fans are interested in this.
Yes.
In that crazy time you said you had, sort of womanizing,
Yeah.
how many girls that were on this show did you bang?
I don't
That you
know.
met on the show?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Like maybe
Under 5?
Yes.
All right.
Right, Gary?
I got 3 in my head right now. I'm telling you right now. And I got one in my head that you don't even know that I know.
Let's double that number then.
All right.
It's like a drink.
It's like a chick telling you her weight.
I don't think there was a lot, honestly.
Gary, I'm talking about that he met for the first time on the show.
Well, there's one that jumps to mind for sure.
There were a couple I'm thinking of I was working, but I never even got around to.
Oh, yeah?
Either they just didn't like me that
Right.
way.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, maybe he might be right. But there are 3 that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm not thinking that hard.
I wonder what 3 you're thinking of. because you should
Well,
write
you
them
know
down.
two for sure.
Write them down and hand them to me. I'll give them to Howard.
Yeah, don't even write it.
You know
down.
what?
You know what?
It's too
That's water under the
comfortable for me.
bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're married. You're getting
Why
married.
go back there?
Great
I'm
wife.
happy. I do have a great wife. It was great last
We
night.
love her.
We watched it. You do?
We
do
do.
people generally
He's
like her,
acting
or
like
are they
he's in the
afraid?
marriage,
No,
too.
you know what?
Do you think there's anyone afraid to say they don't love her?
No. Here's the
Besides
deal.
Sal?
But he's acting like he's in the marriage too. We love her.
But in
Well,
a way,
he is in the
hold on,
marriage
in a way,
anyway.
I am, and I'm going to tell you why, Robin.
Really?
I'll tell you why I'm in the marriage in a strange way.
He is.
I have a friend who worked for a big celebrity for a long period of time, and then that celebrity got divorced, and his life was miserable.
Okay.
Because that celebrity was miserable.
Okay.
And his life was miserable. So
I
if
see.
Howard were not happy,
You're
we would all be
miserable.
fucking unhappy. So the fact that he's happy, I'm in a great marriage.
So Gary, Howard's pretty upset that it took so long for him to get the package, I guess, from Carol Leifer, and he wants to implement like a new system. Have you figured out what you're going to do exactly?
Yeah, Tracy and I spoke about it. The truth is there is a system in place. An email is sent to Laura every day telling her what came in the mail that day. So I guess it's my job to point it out more than Laura's job to point it out. But, I mean, he gets a list every day. He just doesn't look at it every day. So I guess they just want us to expedite it and say, hey, you should notice that Carol Leifer, but not Craig Gass, Jimmy Kimmel, but not Mark Harris, sent you an important package.
So you're saying that if he would have looked at it earlier, he would have seen it? It was definitely
Right,
on
if
the
he would
list?
have looked at it, he would have seen it. But he's saying, I don't get to look at it every day. He's saying, I'm telling you, I don't look at it every day, so give me a bigger heads
Yeah.
up. It's more of a discussion. I don't think he was, he's not necessarily angry. It's just, sort of putting it all together. But it's done.
I'm Jesse James. I'm here to do the Howard Stern Show, and pretty excited. Been a Howard Stern fan since like the late '80s.
Oh, so you're a big fan?
Yeah. So, well, I was bodyguard and spent a lot of time in New York, and I think Rick Rubin turned me onto it. He had like cassette tapes of like when Howard of the old show when he got like booted off and like wore him out on tour buses listening to him. So it's
Nice,
pretty
man.
cool.
So this is a pretty big occasion for you then.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous. It's actually, I usually just breeze through this stuff because most people that interview me are dipshits and like I just talk smack to them. But this one, I'm like, fuck.
All right, Jesse James also was on Celebrity Apprentice, used to be a real badass.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I've been reading about this guy,
Like
Jesse
how
James.
badass?
He was a real badass. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, nice to meet you. Pleasure.
That's a badass?
He's a badass. Jesse James is a badass.
Yeah, you fuck with him, Robin.
Yeah, fuck with him and see how far you
Hi,
get.
Robin.
Yeah.
Hi there, how are you?
Robin
good.
wore extra cleavage for you.
Trying to steal you away.
Hey, can I tell you why I was laughing when I brought him in?
Yeah.
Tim came to the green room. Tim never says hello to the gas. Tim came to the green room, and he just goes, dude, you're my idol. And he just started talking like how much he loves Jesse James and how Jesse's his idol.
Why is Jesse James Tim Sabian's idol? Like, I could see why.
As we were walking in, Tim was just like reeling off stuff, and he goes, that bike you made in Afghanistan?
Tim, what do you know about bikes? I mean,
He's a biker. Well, I've had bikes all my life as a kid,
I didn't know
Harleys
that.
and all that kind of thing. And
You can see by him he's a biker.
You could tell.
yeah, right. I'm bad, But the
Do you
stuff
have
that he
socks on
built
with your loafers?
No,
Yeah, Jesse. He's a skinny, fruity executive.
exactly right. But he
Needs a
just
man
builds the
purse.
coolest bikes. I mean, if you saw his stuff, it's just absolutely amazing what you do. So it's an art. He's
Wow.
one of your heroes.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
right.
one of the greatest bike builders ever.
Tim
in
was
car builders.
Tim was a Mongol. I don't know if you know that. Honorary Mongol.
Card carrying.
Card carrying.
Actually, I think Tim was in the Chingaling.
Jesse, nice to have you on the show. Now, how did you get to be? Where'd you grow up?
In California, Long Beach.
And were you a kid who was always into building cars and motorcycles? Were you just one of those kids who were just freaky into that stuff?
Yeah, my dad was like a antique dealer, and I never had any money, and I wanted cool stuff, and I had to learn how to get it myself or make it.
Wow.
But you were one of those kids that you didn't go to college or anything, right?
I went to college for 2 years and played football.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
But then weren't you a Hell's Angel for a while? You were part of the motorcycle club? You were never a Hell's Angel?
No, I was a bodyguard for like 7 years. Actually, have to tell you right now, like, this is, to me, I feel like I've finally made it. If I could do your show, I've done like 60 Minutes and everything else, but just to be sitting here, it's like, whoa, man!
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
on the Howard Stern show.
I love that. I actually met your wife, Sandra Bullock, on her movie set one time.
Yeah.
Attractive woman.
Yeah,
Not a
she
bad
told me
deal.
she called you up one time and gave you some shit for a long time ago.
Did she?
Yeah,
I
we
think
talked
so.
to her on the phone once.
Yeah.
She called from the set, yeah.
Why'd she give me shit?
She's German.
You were goofing on her, so she called from the set.
Right.
Oh, she gave it to me. She put me in my place.
Yeah.
Amazing how easily I cave
No, but
in.
you know, I was a bodyguard and spent a lot of time. The first person I ever worked for was Rick Rubin, and he had these like cassette tapes of your show from like the '80s, and this was in the late '80s, and we used to have them on tour buses and listen to
that's
them.
cool.
And it was like, being from LA and California, you know, radio's pretty generic, but hearing like this dude that got kicked off for
dirty words.
Yeah.
Did you? So you go to college for 2 years, you play football, you get out of there, and you're trying to figure out how to make it as a young man, and you become a bodyguard. Is that the way it goes?
Well, I did security all through high school. You know, I used to work at a racetrack called Ascot.
Right.
And then on the weekends, I worked at Golden Apple Comics up in Melrose, and I did security for Bill Leibowitz.
But then you get into guarding like some famous people. You
Yeah,
were,
and then
you were
Rick-
Madonna's bodyguard for a while.
Yeah,
right?
Rick Rubin offered me a job, not as a bodyguard, but doing special projects.
What does that mean?
Collecting money.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
then,
right?
What was he doing?
Yeah, what was he up to?
Just producing, you know,
Right.
doing Deaf American Records, and then pretty soon they asked me to go on tour because promoters weren't paying and people were ripping them off. And then,
Wow.
you know, it was in the late '80s when violent metal started getting really big and kids were getting really hurt at shows, and so
Right.
they kind of wanted me to come in and.
So that's how you made your living? You were the guy
Yeah, I
who,
did
you were the
it.
collector.
And then I traveled all the way around the world, and like in 5 years, about 10 times, and the whole time on the road, all I was doing was going to motorcycle shops and buying parts, and that was kind of what I did. You know, when I was off the road, I'd work on my bike in my mom's garage, and I finally just got tired of it.
Did you ever have to beat the shit out of people when you were a bodyguard?
No, I'm a non-violent person.
No, come on. You're a violent guy, right?
Well, back in the late 80s, early 90s, you could still, like, duke it out, and it was like mutual combat, and nobody sued each other. So.
Did you ever have to go to jail or anything?
No.
Never. You had to think about it. That's funny. I do.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
because
what could you mistake for jail in that thought?
Yeah, right. Because you know, you said on Celebrity Apprentice that one of the reasons you wanted to do it was because you wanted to apologize to figure skater Scott Hamilton because when you were a young man, you stole his car.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a big thing for you.
Well,
so
they begged me to do the show, the producers and casting people, for like 2 years.
Right.
And I mean, I'm never going to do that show. I'm too busy, and it's just not me. But they said, we have Scott Hamilton. And I said, okay, I'll do it.
Right, because you wanted to apologize to him.
Yeah, and I figured I would. I always felt bad because he's a little skater dude.
How did you come to steal Scott Hamilton's car? Was that your line of work for a while? Were you a car thief?
Well, you know, I was kind of like a crab trying to get out of a barrel. You know, when I was a kid, my parents let me fend for myself. And
how old were you when you were on your own?
I moved out when I was 15.
No kidding. Where was your dad and mom? I mean, what was their story?
They kind of split up when I was 5, and they're kind of that beatnik generation where,
Right.
like, you know, kids are a drag, and you know.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so you know, I mean, honestly, I did a lot of stuff that I'm not really proud of.
How
you know?
old were you when you stole Scott Hamilton's car?
I was 17.
Yeah.
You know, and that was, you know, I only did it because I had parts off of it sold, and I was looking for one, and someone knew of one that was at Ice Capades in San Diego, and so.
Where do you move when you're 15? When your parents basically throw you out of the house, where do you move to? I mean, how do you make? I mean, at 15, I couldn't even wipe my ass.
I moved in with my girlfriend and her mom.
Oh, they let you in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
And her mom was like, you know, pretty amazing lady that, like.
That's amazing.
She, like, you know, was the first time that I ever had, like, someone tell me, you know, look, hey, you need to get your shit together.
You mean
and
to
you're
tell
going to
me-
live in my house. You're not going to screw around. And
You were allowed to live in your girlfriend's house? Were you allowed to sleep in the same room with her and bang her?
no, they had a guest house. They let me in. And she
I
also
see.
had a boyfriend. The mom had a boyfriend that lived there. So.
How cool is that? That some woman would take you in just because you're with, probably, you know, I mean, that's unbelievable to
But
me.
how do you get into the house? Because you know he's banging the girlfriend in the
Yeah, I know. I mean, the mom's got it. You were banging your girlfriend.
It was high school. I was 15, you know.
You were
weren't
banging your girlfriend at that time, right? So she'd sneak into the guest house.
No,
that would never go.
Nothing like that.
You were listen. You didn't want to jeopardize the one place you could live.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations. If you look at it on the outside, it's like, wow, yeah, you're so lucky. But her mom was actually no BS and kind of like.
But they had a guest house. I mean, that's a wealthy
nice,
chick.
Yeah.
Well, it was not even. It was like a little house on their garage. A little one bedroom that was like 10 feet wide. And
Have you always been great with women? I mean, you were voted the 50 sexiest men in America. I know you were married to the beautiful, stunning, who I wish I could have had sex with, Janine Lindemuller for a while, the famous porn star. Did you get attracted to her from our show since you were a fan? I mean, had you heard her on our show?
No, I never really. I met her through a friend and didn't really. I never really saw her on this show.
I see. Because to me, she's one of the sexiest broads on the planet. I mean, I know you're divorced now and you're married to Sandra Bullock.
But beautiful, right?
But fucking beautiful girl, and must have been a monster in bed. And I know she's into chicks, so she was probably bringing you chicks, right?
Sometimes things aren't what they seem.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ruin the fantasy?
No, I won't ruin the fantasy.
Is that right? It wasn't. In other words, the fantasy I have of Janine is not only she's beautiful, no question, but the fantasy I always had was, okay, she's into girls. I know she brings girls home, and I figured you were having the time of your life. Like, I would have sat there and said, oh, my God, if I could be him, if I could just, be married to Janine, it'd be unbelievable the fun I'd be having.
Yeah, but then, real life and reality kicks in. And, I think it's
not as sexual, you're saying, as you think it would be?
I look at the situation now. I think I got in that relationship. I was married for 10 years.
Right.
And got out of that, and that was the first serious relationship I got into after being married for 10 years. And I think I more got into that relationship for everybody else.
Because
so guys like you would think I was cool.
So exactly, that's true. That can happen. You're like, hey, I'm
check this out.
You almost
everybody expects me to be having this life,
and
even though you think something is wrong with the relationship, you go, it can't be anything wrong because everyone's jealous of me.
Everything's really, really great and awesome and amazing while things are good.
Right.
But when it starts to spiral out of control, so much so that I feel like I'm losing it and going crazy, then it was. I think my basic synopsis of the situation was amazing. I fell head over heels for this amazing, beautiful woman.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it started going bad and ended like nuclear warfare. And at the end of the day, we have this amazing daughter.
But what could have gone so bad?
You know what? I don't really want to say anything bad about her. She's in jail.
I know. Well, did you hear when she called in? She called our show.
And hey, if she's right here, by all means, I'll talk right to her face.
Right.
But,
it was pretty bitter. She didn't say anything bad about you. She was grateful that you're going to watch her, your daughter together, that you had together. So she's pretty thrilled about that because Janine's in jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Did you get caught up in that at all? I mean, that whole tax evasion thing?
A little bit.
You must have been thrilled with that.
Well, yeah, it's good when the IRS gets pointed in your direction for no reason.
Yeah, it's great. Huh?
Yeah, you know what? But the whole situation, it's like, hopefully, I hope when she goes through all this stuff, and she's pretty much hit rock bottom, that she I know there's a really great person and mom in there somewhere. It's just got to come out.
Yeah, it's weird though. Was it weird for you being married to a porn star for a while? Is it that guys think that they can have their way with your wife, and
I think it she'd been retired for 5 years,
right?
And so it wasn't really on the tip of your tongue. It wasn't she's a current huge star. It was over in the past, and she was changing. But then, I think it's harder for her to be in that kind of spotlight.
Would you recommend that a guy marry a porn star, or do you think that they have too many problems that it's just too much of a thing to overcome?
Just buy the DVD.
Just buy the DVD. Yeah,
Don't even go there. Just buy the DVD.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better to beat off.
Yeah.
Was it hard for your current wife, Sandra, to get over the fact that you were married to a porn star? Did that almost destroy your new relationship in the sense that she couldn't take you seriously because you had been married to a porn star?
Well, I've been 100% honest with her and upfront about everything. Like right from the get-go, where like some of the things I had to tell her at the beginning of our relationship.
Right.
Like, hey, I was with the porn star. Hey, we're having a kid.
Right.
And all this stuff. And like several points, I expected her just to turn around and run.
Yeah, because that's right. Your wife, your porn star wife, was pregnant when you met Sandra, right? And it was like your marriage was ending. So that's a tough situation. Taking up with a guy who was just ending a marriage.
We were already apart like 7 months before that. And you know, finding out like when she was like 6 months pregnant, you know, it's like, guess what? And I'm like, bullshit, you know, like.
But that could almost destroy a relationship,
yeah,
especially with Sandra Bullock.
It's been really hard, but it's a testament to what an amazing woman Sandy is, you know.
Well,
Absolutely.
How do you meet Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, that's cool because I tell you something. I met Sandra Bullock for 2 seconds this is before you, and I was thinking maybe if she comes on to me, you know, that'd be a pretty good hookup.
Sure.
I mean, wow.
Well, yeah, she's married to me, so it's got to give guys like you hope, because I'm just a knucklehead like you.
Yeah, I'm probably a bigger knucklehead than you. You at least can build a motorcycle. What do I do?
But how do you meet her?
Yeah,
I mean,
how did you
even, and what happens? How do you get to date Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, that's good. Tell the guys in my audience so they can meet like a Sandra Bullock.
So went through nuclear warfare.
In your marriage.
And like swore that, okay, I'm just going to be this 50-year-old single guy.
Right.
No, never. I'm done. 2 marriages, I'm done. I'm not getting married a 3rd time.
Yeah, after 2 marriages, you start to say it's not working.
You know, and I was like, that's it. You know, and a couple months had passed, and she contacted my office and wanted to bring her godson for a tour of the shop because he was a big fan of Monster Garage and West Coast Choppers and stuff like that. And I kind of, okay, cool, whatever. You know, I kind of automatically figured she's probably a bitch. You know, fancy Hollywood chick, and like, and she brought him, and I talked to her for like 5 minutes, and it was like, you know, never in a million years would she be any kind of a. I mean, she's amazing and beautiful, and but I would never like go for that type of girl. I've always, you know, kind of
wilder chicks.
Blondes with big boobs.
Right, yeah.
You know, I'll take that one.
Yeah,
you know, I've never put any thought to any woman I've been with other than superficial features, you know, and I never ever like thought, you know, hey, that looks like someone good I could spend time with, you know, but this, I like something triggered in my head, and I was like, wow, you know, that's, you know, she's smart, and she looks you in the eye when she talks to you, and she
ain't bad looking.
Yeah. You know, and so I kind of contacted her assistant, said, hey, I want to ask her out.
Wow,
take some balls.
Ballsy.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know where that came from, but then I asked her out, and she said no.
She said no. Why? Because do you think because, hey, you know, you're some like motorcycle dude, and you're also getting out of a marriage with a porn star and all that other stuff?
Well, I don't think she knew that much about me, and you know, just
why do you think she said no?
Probably because she's smart.
But did she? So when I get a no, that's no. I'm like,
you don't go
up.
back again. How does it wind up being a date? How did you kept going back?
Hey, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah, huh?
So I you know, we kind of emailed back and forth for a couple months, and it was.
Well, wait a second. She says no.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you start emailing back and forth?
I had her email address that she gave me, and we just started going back and forth, and it was the first time ever in any relationship that I ever have been in that was like a courtship.
Right.
And I really got to know her, and she got to know me, because she automatically thought I was like a bigot and a racist, and like, you know. And
why? Because you're into bikes?
Well, just, I mean, you look at me, you know.
I kind of thought
I
that
look
when you
like
were
Daniel Carver's
kid.
kid.
Yeah, maybe you'd come in here and say the N-word or something. I don't know.
No, but I grew up, you know, I grew up in Long Beach and was born in Linwood, you know, an all-black neighborhood, and like, you know, I thought my name was Wedo when I was a kid, because all the Mexicans used to call me that, and like.
So you didn't have any real racial bias. In other words, you might fit in with some of her Hollywood-type friends, it turns out.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Right. So you're writing, emailing back and forth, so how did she finally give in?
Yeah, and we just eventually went out to dinner, and like, it was a great time, and you know, she kind of asked me, like, you know, when do you want to go out again? I said, tomorrow.
Well, that's the move. Yeah. And now, the whole time you were emailing her, you didn't see any other chicks or anything? Like, you were really that focused, or you were going out with girls?
No.
No one. You went without.
Kind of swore it off.
How long did you go without? Let's call it something nice. pussy? How long did you go without it? How long were you free of sex?
Probably about 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Wow. How did you last?
No.
Really, how long? Like months?
Yeah, it was a couple months probably.
So you were focused on Sandra.
Oh, I think it was just, I don't know, it was awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome to like, I've always put hard work first in every aspect of my life to be successful in business and TV shows and all that stuff. And I've never put hard work in a relationship, like never ever like applied my work ethic to making a relationship work. And like, I guess you have to listen to chicks. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, when they talk, you have to like look at them and listen. And like,
yeah, how do you learn that stuff?
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you.
And then when they ask you, like when a woman asks you, hey, you want to go look at furniture and go to the gardening store today? You got to go, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like you got to, in other words, sometimes be interested in what they're in, even though you don't necessarily care about it that much. So that first...
And you have to talk to them.
Yeah, I know. That's the drag. No, but in all seriousness, the first dinner, did you get to kiss her?
No.
You did not. How long before you get to actually kiss her?
I think it was on like the second date.
Second date.
And she kissed me.
No kidding. Yeah,
she took charge.
Yeah.
She just started doing...
Kind of caught me off guard, too.
Yeah, I know. You're probably thinking in the back of your mind, gee, she's been in all these movies with like all these really good-looking Hollywood actors and stuff. There's no way she's going to fall for me, right? There's just no way. I would be so goddamn insecure. I mean, she's been around every good-looking dude on the planet. I don't even know who she dated.
None of those dudes can weld.
That's true. You're real, you know what? Stick them on an island. Could they build transportation? No way.
She'd better stick with you.
They can't fix the microwave like I can when it breaks.
You actually are a man. You're a real man, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, compared to a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
They're very twinky, some of those guys. So did she lay down any rules? When you start to get in a relationship with her, she's got publicists, she's got all kinds of things. She's a super famous actress making $17 million a film. It's almost like Pretty Woman in reverse. You've got to get the rules read to you, right?
I think there's a certain level of respect that you don't have, if you love someone and respect them, you don't have to lay down rules,
First time you make love to her, you like, oh my God, I'm with Sandra Bullock. That's what I'd be. I don't even know if I could function.
How long does that take?
Were you like just freaked out?
I'm not talking about that.
Come on.
You guys got enough.
Seriously, she's the best lover of your life?
Absolutely, hands down.
Look at this.
Yep.
Keeps it real, huh?
Yep.
And you've been with some people.
You've been around.
Not
really. Did her people try to break you guys up at all at first?
Well, all of her friends, absolutely, like 100%, like no way, we're putting a stop to this. This is no good. And
even I was going to call her and put a stop to it.
Really?
Said, what are you doing, honey? No, I don't know her. I had no idea what was going on. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? It must be a great life. What do you guys do all day anyway?
Well,
you're working all the time, right?
Yeah, both of us work, and we surprisingly live a normal life. We just,
got a big house?
Not big.
But how do they do the finances? Because she
makes a ton of dough. I mean, you make a great living, but the fact of the matter is, she's got a ton of dough. What do? You keep it separate, or you have a joint fund?
Everything's totally separate.
I mean, that's got to be complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, so the electric bill comes into the house. What do you do?
Who gets it?
Does the bill go to you? Does it go to her?
We flip a coin.
No, I'm being serious. How do you work that out? I mean, at some point in a relationship, how do you work that out?
Howard's all worried about the financial stuff.
But
like
in a way,
a Jewish stereotype playing itself out. I need the accounting. Let's see it.
No, but Jesse, in a sense, it's true. You're the guy. You're supposed to handle all that stuff. But she's sitting there making $17 million a film. I mean, it's kind of silly for you to have to pay that stuff, if I may be your lawyer. I mean, you know what I mean?
But it's got a pen and paper.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do when the bills come in?
Well, I pay my bills, she pays hers.
And then what about the joint bills? What about the electric? You're both using the lighting. I mean,
you know what?
Not get any light.
If you love someone and as much as I love her, nothing's an issue in that respect. We just handle our own stuff, and some stuff I pay for, some stuff she pays for.
Prenup though, you got to sign, right?
With what?
You got to, when you get married to Sandra Bullock, the both of you got to work that out ahead of time. There's no way, especially you've been married 2 times before. You got to sit down and have that tough discussion. That can't be easy. Believe me, I know.
It was, everything about it was totally easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lawyer came with a big phone
and I
book
think
worth of
it's
papers.
it's a test, to people that kind of have perceived success in their field. We both are strong, and we don't. I think when it's lopsided, when you're marrying someone that's like a remora,
right?
And then you're gonna be sweating all the details. But her and I we're.
And you got a motorcycle shop, right?
Yeah, a little one.
A little one. No, you like a leading guy in this whole thing, right? I mean, you're the guy, right?
The leading guy.
You're the leading guy.
Yeah.
You build a motorcycle.
I build the best bikes in the world, hands down.
Big business. How many people you got working for you?
Probably about 40 or 50.
No kidding. That's nice.
How many people you got working here? Jesus, what's the payroll here?
About 150 people. I'm not kidding.
Just for
payroll's $40.
And we don't make a thing.
Yeah, nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
You know what an honor it is to work here?
Nice. Interns.
I mean, listen, this is fantastic. Now, you've got Jesse James. Now, by the way, why the name Jesse James? That's not your real name.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. James is your last name. You legally changed your name. What were you born as?
Mohammed.
No, come on. What was your
My
your
name's
name?
Jesse
Greg?
James, man.
That was your
My middle
birth
name's
name.
Greg.
Oh, okay. So
there's 7 Jessies in the family, and we all go by our middle names, so it's not confusing.
It is Jesse Gregory James.
Yeah,
You're
and
absolutely
so-
right. You do know your own name.
Yeah, my immediate family calls me Greg just to save confusion, and
Yeah, are you still talking to your mom and dad now that you're famous and well married?
No, I had them killed.
Well, I mean, seriously, Jesse,
No.
you don't talk to them, right?
I don't talk. My dad and I don't have any kind of relationship, but my mom is great. And
Why is your mom great? If she let you leave the house at 15 and kind of booted you out the door, why is she great?
because in the last couple of years, she's came around and started being a great grandma.
Yeah, I guess, but nevertheless, I mean, now it's easy to
Well,
love.
I
You're
was hesitant.
successful.
I was hesitant at first, because so much stuff we've been through, and the whole tornado of the relationship with Janine, killed a lot of stuff with my family, and
Right.
but I think you have to, as long as your parents are willing to make the effort and.
But why did your family abandon you when you were going through all your hard times with Janine? I mean, why would they turn on you? Why wouldn't they support you? I don't get it.
Well, that didn't start with Janine. That started when I was like 5. And I was done with my family when I was 15. I bolted and went on my own. And
Did you go into therapy years later? Because I mean, when your family isn't
therapy.
I'm being serious.
I went to court-ordered therapy one time when I was like 14 after I got out of jail.
Yeah.
And I threw a chair through the window.
You had some anger, huh?
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever went. So.
But why would therapy make you angry? In other words, you've got to be pissed off at your parents for doing this to you. I mean, that's a tough thing when you're 15.
I spent a lot of years being pissed and angry.
Right.
And I think a lot of the stuff I did, like stealing cars and getting in trouble, was kind of lashing out.
Right.
But now I kind of understand it, and I think, you see, someone with some fame and stuff, you think, it's like a Lindsay Lohan situation in her folks or whatever. But, it's, my parents were like, speaking like my dad and my sister, they were gone like long before that. They had tried to steal from me like when I was like 19, so.
The old man, has he tried to get in touch with you recently since, you're married to Sandra Bullock, you got successful television show, the whole thing?
I don't know. I've never heard from him.
Never?
So, no.
Do you know if he's alive?
Well, you got to respect him for that.
Do you know? Yeah, I do respect him for that. Do you know if he's alive?
Yeah, he's alive. I'm pretty sure.
How do you know that?
Because I haven't been sent a funeral bill yet.
Right. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse James is going to be on Jesse James is a Dead Man. Now, what does that mean, Jesse James is a dead man?
Well, we started, Monster Garage ended like in 2005.
Right. Fred, you must be a big Monster Garage guy, right?
I'm a big fan of Jesse's, too. I thought he was like, and I think I wish he had punched that guy on The Apprentice who was asking those, who's that guy? That Piers Morgan?
Piers, yeah, the teabag dude.
I don't watch that show. What happened with Piers Morgan?
They were just kind of being dicks and like him and Donald Trump were like trying to press me to bring Sandy onto that show.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah, it was
and you know something? The lamest excuse that Donald could give to fire him is because he wouldn't bring, Sandra on the show. And I'm like, that's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I mean, you were on the show. Doesn't mean Sandra Bullock's going to be on the show, right? I mean, it doesn't mean you come in a package. I didn't yell at you for not bringing her today, right?
No.
No, you. That's absurd. You were kicked off The Apprentice because you didn't bring Sandra Bullock on?
Well, I remember what Donald said. He said, well, you didn't bring her on for the big charity thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't see you bringing her on in the next couple of weeks, so you're fired.
Yeah, they kind of made themselves look like assholes,
Yeah.
but that's not hard for them.
So, Fred, you're a big fan of those
big
bikes?
fan. I'm a big fan of chopper building as an art form. I think he's one of the leaders in that field.
What bike do you ride? Let's see if Jesse has any respect for you.
He's not going to know. It doesn't care because I'm not a chopper rider. I ride a Triumph.
Nice.
I'm not a hog guy.
I'm too big for Triumphs. I look like an oaf on it.
So what the idea of a personalized chopper is? In other words, you build it's a one of a kind.
It's like if you went and had a tailor-made suit,
right,
to fit you. You know, we kind of tailor-make bikes for customers. You know, they'll come. Like we built one for Shaq. You know, and he's 7'3".
Well, he would need one.
Yeah,
is a guy like me a pussy because I don't ride a motorcycle? I'm afraid I'd hurt my leg or something like that, or roll off and get killed. You know what I mean? I actually have fear.
Well, you know what? I've built a lot of bikes for guys like you.
Yeah.
Jesse, does it make them with training wheels?
Yeah, you can build a
I'll
trike.
admit it. I'm afraid. Let me ask you about motorcycle
But
riding.
I've seen guys like you that have come in the shop, and I'm like, oh man, who's this motherfucker coming in here? You know, like they got like a shiny Rolex and they're driving
Right.
a BMW,
In other
and then
words,
I'll
I'm not
build them
the
a
type.
bike.
Yeah.
I'll build them a bike, and it's kind of like it makes their personality come out of like who they really want to be, and like all of a sudden they got they're growing a little beard. And like,
in other words, you
know,
would say I'd be less feminine if I had a bike.
I think I could see you riding a bike.
You could.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my fear of riding a bike. I know a lot of guys who ride bikes, and they always have a story of an accident. And the ones that survive either have brain damage or I have one friend who is a big bike rider. He has pins in his legs, and this guy's a real,
I got pins in my legs.
No kidding, from falling off a bike.
Bikes, race cars, stuff like that.
Do you do hardcore stunts, right? What is this? Jesse's stunts on the show include riding a nitromethane-fueled motorcycle at 200 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
What, are you like Johnny Knoxville? Do you have the death wish as well?
No, I think this stuff that we're doing on the show is more challenges and stuff that's mentally and physically demanding. I think Jackass is great. I love that show, and I love Nitro Circus.
Right.
But it's more buffoonery of like hurling yourself off to something and stuff that's over in a split second. I want stuff that's going to be like, okay, I have to train for months to get ready to do this, and
a nitromethane-fueled motorcycle at 200 miles an hour, riding a motorcycle in minus 60-degree temperatures in the Arctic and leading the police on a high-speed chase. Are you insane? I mean, seriously, do you think you're crazy?
No, man, I'm lucky.
It doesn't even sound like fun, riding in the Arctic.
If I'm living the life you're living, you're successful. You've worked out all your issues with your parents. You're married to Sandra Bullock, one of the most successful actresses in Hollywood, and beautiful. You got great kids. I mean, what are you doing? You're going to risk your life doing this stuff?
Hey, man, life's only a one-lap race.
Is that true?
We only get one lap.
And
so you could either just sit here and talk about stuff all the time, or you could build a bike and put your chick on it and go ride. And I think it's
Am
great.
I a mama's boy because I don't do this?
You know what? I think it's great that you're scared of it because that means you'll love it that much more when you actually do it.
Well, I think I'll love it more when you do it.
When you get over your fear and you jump on a bike and you take your chick up to like New Hampshire or wherever. I mean, you live in the best riding place in the planet.
Right.
And put your chick on it and you get it and you kind of squint your eyes and you can feel the sun on your skin and like.
There's no better feeling to you.
You would love it. I can tell your personality because I've built bikes for guys like you.
Guys like me?
All of a sudden,
yeah.
Like he'd come in and he'd kick over the trash can and like, yeah,
I would come to life.
Look, motherfuckers, we need to get some shit straight around here.
Watching American Idol.
Yeah.
I like American Idol.
You watch it too, right?
I've watched every episode.
Do you vote?
Did you vote? I voted last night. If you don't vote, then you can't complain about who your idol is.
I sent 5701 to vote last night.
Did you?
Me too. 5701. I can prove it to you.
I got it. You could go get my pages from the green
room. Want to see mine? I'll prove it to you. How many times did you vote last night?
Just once.
I voted 3 times.
We're kicking you out of the club.
Yeah. You know, I hear what you're saying. I could see me riding on the back of your bike with my arms wrapped around you. You know what I mean? And my hair blowing in the wind.
All snuggled
Yeah,
up.
I can see it. It might be kind of romantic.
With his little thong hanging out of the back of his
He'll
pants.
have the girl helmet on.
Dave, you're on the air. You're on with Jesse James. The big show is Jesse James is a dead man. Evidently, he's going to do things on there that only real men like myself can dream of. You're a Superman.
Do you ever think you would get off the couch and ride a motorcycle?
No, I am too afraid. I'm too much.
We'll hook up. I'll make him do it. Yeah, we'll leave him stranded somewhere, and the only way he's going to get back is to get on a bike and ride home.
Maybe if you throw that wife of yours on the back of my bike, I might take a spin. I don't know. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you're on with Jesse James.
Hey, Howard, how are you doing?
All right.
Good. Hey, Jesse, how are you?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I big fan of yours and been riding bikes since I was 4 years old, and I got to agree with you, to Howard. There, you got to get on a bike and experience it because it's.
You know what's funny about this? There's a lot of guys out there riding bikes, living the wildlife. Fred.
I love it.
And where am I in all this?
You got to just do it.
Missing it, Howard.
Yeah.
You think you know what? I think I'm too much of a mama's boy. My mother had tremendous fear. You are not.
My parents told me that if I ever got a bike, I'd be kicked out of the house. Well, fuck it. I moved out and then got a bike.
You're a rebel. You're your own man.
Yeah.
But do you ever think of confronting your fears?
Absolutely not. You want to know something, though? Yes, I do.
I'm going to be honest. One time he picked a hangnail, and it went all the way.
You want to know
it
something,
went past
Jesse?
the nail bed.
Jesse, in a way, you're right. In a way, you're right. I'm going to be honest with you right now.
He's going to go to bed without brushing his teeth.
I am so full of fear. Jesse, I am so full of fear that, do you know, when I first started to run, I run. That's my exercise. And when I start to run, I would hear my mother's voice in my head saying, you can't run in the rain. You'll get cold, you'll get sick, and you'll die.
This guy's laughing.
And Jesse, as you took up motorcycles and riding at 200 miles an hour, what I did was I ran in the rain. And Jesse, I consider this
crazy style.
Yeah. And you think I'm joking?
Were you wearing dolphin shorts?
I considered myself a rebel at that point. Now, mind you, I was 40 years old, and I thought, wow, look at me, I'm running in the rain. I don't care.
F you, Ma.
If I get an F you.
How serious?
Hey, Jesse.
How serious are you about it?
You want to know something, Jesse?
When you come to a stoplight, do you keep running in place?
I do. You know what, Jesse? I'll tell you what. Here's my analogy to you. I kind of feel that, in a way, my radio show and what I did with my life was my, if you will, fuck you to my parents. To my mother, who always said, you can't do this, you can't do that. You are going to be sensitive to women. I was raised in a house of women where I had to be sensitive. And in a way, I went on the radio and I became this maniac, an insane person. So maybe you doing the motorcycle thing was me doing the radio show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I can still see your personality. You know, and I think it is about confronting your fears. You know, you learn once you push yourself through a level of fear. You know, and I learned this on doing the new TV show. Once you push yourself, if I do something and I go, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. You know, and I know that I'm scared and I can't sleep the night before, and I know it's gonna be gnarly. Really? Then I know that's going to be good TV, and I know I'm going to, like, when you get to the other side and you pull it off and you land it and you still got all your arms and legs, it's like the raddest feeling you could ever imagine.
I think that's how I feel about radio. When I would go on, and it was so conservative, and I'd go on and do these things that people said you can't do, I think I got that same kind of rush.
Yeah, but you've already done it all. What are you going to do now?
I play chess. What do you do
I run in the rain.
I'll make you a deal. I'll build you a bike for free if you ride it.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think
not some
Jesse.
thing
I don't think I could do it.
Not even like down like a straight little.
I'll ride with you. You and I can take a road trip. And
I can hold on to you.
Yeah, I'll build you one of my little $100,000 specials if you ride it.
You want to know something, Jesse? That's a very generous offer, and I thank you for that. But I think I'm going to stay on the road.
You think about it.
Let me think about it. Let me mull it over. But I wouldn't accept that.
Go buy some motorcycle magazines and see if you like it.
You feel it would open me up?
I'm telling you, dude. I'm 100% right about this every time.
Maybe you're right.
I look at some people, and they come into the shop, and I can tell that guy's never going to ride that bike, and that bike's never going to fit him. And then I see some guys that come in, and they're a little hesitant.
I don't have the desire.
They're scared.
I don't have the desire.
They're scared like you.
I don't need it.
Is there anything
You don't.
that
You don't
do
know.
want?
You don't know you need it, but you do.
You think I need it?
I think I'm 100%.
What's something?
And
what
I
is a fear
guarantee you,
you've confronted? But wait a second. Have you, like, maybe you have a fear of public speaking or something? Maybe you're afraid. I mean, what is your fear? Your real fear. Okay, so you can get on a bike and ride.
My biggest fear in the world.
Seeing your father.
No, is making sure my 3 kids grow up strong and healthy.
But no, come on. That's not your biggest fear.
It is. I got a 14-year-old daughter, man. She's 5'10" and blonde hair and green eyes, and like.
Well, you got
How old is she?
14.
Oh my.
So.
My biggest fear is walking outside
but
naked.
I get scared of a lot of stuff. You know,
should do it.
I'm afraid someone's going to see my penis.
You should show it.
Would you ever show your penis to the public? Aren't you afraid of that? Are you well hung?
No.
You're not. See?
No.
There's something you won't confront.
No.
Let's go to Dan. Let some people say hi to you. But I tell you what, I would be really nervous. You think I could ride in a sidecar, maybe?
I have a sidecar.
You do have
bike.
one? I
Yeah.
might be able to handle that. Dan, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, first time, long time, big fan, love you all. Hey, Jesse, about 6 or 7 years ago, you were at a car show in a town called Paso Robles, California. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was there in a bar across the street on the balcony, and you were at a place called Boosie's. There was a massive crowd of people, and all of a sudden, every single cop, I've never seen so many cops, had to be 30 to 50, just swarmed over there. And the rumor is, tell me if it's right or not, is that some guy was talking shit to you and basically called you a sellout, and you decked the guy. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
You didn't have a bar fight?
No, some guy did start a bunch of stuff with me, but I was with my son. Him and I drove my little 29 Ford up there together, and we had just got there, and the guy like kind of was belligerent and got in my face, and like,
why? You jealous?
Yeah, the rumor mill had you beating the shit out of this guy. And as soon as I heard you're on, I was like, I got to find out the truth.
Are you good in hand-to-hand combat?
I've never lost a fight.
You've never lost a fight in your life?
I've taken my licks, but I've never been beat yet.
You've been in bar fights?
Yes.
With some tough motherfuckers, I imagine.
I got hit in the side of the head with a Newcastle bottle one time.
No kidding.
In Flint, Michigan.
And you still beat the shit out of the guy?
Yeah.
Look at you. Where'd you learn how to fight like that? In the street, or did you do martial arts?
I took Taekwondo's dough.
You just know how to fight from growing up, right?
No, I took a little bit of martial. I don't want to talk about that stuff.
You did a little bit of martial arts?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a brown belt in Shotokan?
You can go to any martial arts store and buy any color belt you want. They're like $19.
Hey, I might have to fight you.
You could be a triple black belt.
You've never lost a fight?
No.
You think you could do ultimate fighting?
You know what? I'm not much of a grappler. You know, the kind of fighting that I did, that if you go down to the ground, you cut your percentage of winning by 50%.
So what would you do? Just punch a guy?
I think, keep your space and keep your distance,
How do you take him out?
Well, the best way I've found is break their clavicle.
No kidding.
If you break collarbone's super easy to break.
How do you break the collarbone?
You can slap it. It only takes like 4 pounds of pressure to break it.
No kidding. So you're telling me if I'm in a fight and I smack a guy in the clavicle.
Have you ever broken your collarbone?
I haven't.
Well, if you break your collarbone, you can't lift your hands up.
No kidding. So if you go for rather than even go for the face,
just nail it, and that fight's over.
Like, Benji, come here. I'm going to demonstrate on you. I'm going to smack
come
you.
Here, Benji. Let me break your collarbone.
Let me just break your collarbone. Big deal. Like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you know that, Robin?
I did not know that. I know you can't. I didn't know it was so easy to break.
All those karate
I know you can't
lessons.
lift your arms.
I wasted my time with.
But why can't he talk about it? It's like he went to some secret society or something. He doesn't like to talk about it.
Are you afraid if you brag about it, then guys will want to challenge you and all that kind of crap?
Yeah, and people are already, I'm the guy that everybody wants to fight.
You're a target already.
Yeah. Oh, you seem like a nice guy. I don't get that.
I don't know. It's because I'm so pretty.
That's the problem with you. Let's go to Mark. You ever have to fight more than one guy at a time?
Yeah.
No
it's
kidding.
usually always like that. It's never just me and one other guy. I mean, I haven't been in a real fight in a long time. But
Right. The last fight you had was more than one guy?
No, it was one guy.
Wow. Boy, I never get into fights because I run. Mark, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Howard. Thanks for taking my call, man. Big fan of yours, and Jesse, I'm a huge fan of yours.
What's up, man?
If you are going to turn down, or Howard, if you are going to turn down that bike, man, I swear to God, I'm going to drive to New York and I'm going to slap you. Jesse James, he's Elvis in the bike building.
I understand that. First of all, let me explain something about myself,
fat
Mark.
and on drugs.
I would never take a free bike from Jesse, even if I was the biggest bike enthusiast in the world. That's number one. If I was going to get a bike from Jesse and ask him to make a bike, I'd pay for it. That's number one. That's my code.
That's a safeguard.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
No, that's the truth.
So
I would
now,
not feel comfortable.
So basically, now he's legally trying to get out of.
No,
well, because
I
I'm
would
serious, I'm not allowed
Jesse,
to accept any gifts.
No,
on the air.
no, I could accept a gift.
I really wanted to go ride this weekend,
Jesse,
but
Jesse, look at me. I wouldn't do that to anybody. I wouldn't take a okay. If somebody
hey, I'll
wanted-
build you a bike and make you like it just to prove a point.
Well, that's different.
God, Howard, what are you doing?
Mark, stop it. I'm not a bike guy.
You really wouldn't just the idea, just to check it out to see if your personality wouldn't change.
Let me
if
tell you,
wouldn't get something
listen,
out of it.
If NASA called me now and said we're going to build you a rocket ship so you can go to the moon,
Can you imagine
I
the
wouldn't do it.
badass? Can you imagine a badass West Coast shopper like rolling up to somewhere and the guy gets off and he's like got a scowl on his face and like, man, who's that dude? That's Howard Stern. What?
What is the most expensive bike you've ever built?
I just built one that was about $300,000.
Why is it $300,000?
Yeah, it was probably a couple thousand hours of labor in it.
Because it's so specific. It's so like you had to make it.